What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's Deckin Around. My name is Tyler.
I'm Steve.
I completely forgot what show this was for a second, and that's why I had a weird pause there, but that's okay. That's what makes this fun on a Sunday. Completely throws me off now. The new schedule is going to take a little time getting used to, but we are so thankful for everyone coming out this Sunday to check out an amazing episode with Adam Broughton on the show. We are super excited to sit down and talk to Adam. For anyone who doesn't know Adam, he is an amazing cardist. He's really putting out some amazing fun content on YouTube and just all around. We had an awesome time talking with him in the pre-show, so I'm really excited to talk to him once we go live here with everyone.
And he's fun to look at.
Dude, yeah, I gotta say, man, that's what it's all about these days. As long as you're a good-looking dude, you do cardistry, you're set for life there. Yeah, so Adam's got it made here for sure. But I don't know about you, Steve, but you ready to kick this thing off?
That's about all I'm ready to do, man. Like I woke up literally like probably 40 minutes ago. And
yeah.
I haven't eaten yet. I haven't done anything. So I'm gonna do some stuff on/off camera. If you guys see me peekabooing, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of stuffing my face. But
oh my god.
Bring this dude on.
I absolutely love it. And before we jump into it, everybody, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let us pull on Adam here.
Do it.
What's up, Adam?
Adam.
Thank you.
How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Dude, not too bad at all. How's your weekend going?
It's not too bad, it's relaxing, but I'm having to work, so it's like, pros and cons to it. But no, it's not too bad. What about you, boys?
Same. I mean, if you want to call this work.
Yeah, Sunday's our work day now. So this is when we do all of our recording and getting things ready. We have our fun lives with it now. So it's a good way to kind of spin into an exciting start to the week, we'll say.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, man. So now you mentioned you were working this weekend. What do you do for work?
So at the moment, I'm doing customer support. It's like super basic, and it's working in like a online casino. So it's
That's
basically
really cool.
like having to deal with people like not getting their bets, or like wanting to like try and get free spins, or having to like verify documents, all that sort of stuff. So it's really really fun.
So you don't get to break anybody's legs?
Not quite.
That would be the fun part for me. I'd be like,
oh my god,
money? You owe us $20,000.
I feel like that's the good thing about online casinos is they just tie right to your bank account. So when you owe them $20,000, they just take it.
They just take it.
Yeah. It saves a lot of money on the enforcer and probably gets a lot of like the police oversight out of the picture.
Yeah, right. Tell me about
it. So with that in mind, then you honestly are very ingrained in cards or gambling in general. Then it's interesting that being a cardist, have you always had this love for cards and casinos and gaming and things like that?
So casinos and gaming, like for me, absolutely no interest at all. Never in my life have I ever even wanted to like gamble, to be honest with you.
Good man.
It's just like the weird course that life takes, I don't know how I ended up in this industry, but I somehow got myself here. I'm making the best of it.
It's how it works. Dude, I've never been drunk in my life. I don't drink. And I used to be the head doorman at a pub.
Oh right, yeah.
In Boston.
It's weird, isn't it? How sometimes like opposites can like come together.
For sure.
But no, like definitely for cards. I mean, for sure. Like it all kind of just started when I like just got into Magic, and then since then it just became like a mini obsession. I would say. Yeah.
Nice. And so, what was your first like kind of introduction to Magic?
So it was actually a book that I was given. So my dad bought me this book for like I think it was a Christmas present, and it's by a guy called Bob Long, and it's just basically like one of those simple beginner Magic books, and it has like card tricks, coin tricks, like miscellaneous objects like handkerchiefs and all that sort of stuff, ropes and knots and all that. So it's one of those things where I was like, I'm just gonna put it away. I didn't really think too much about it when I got it. I was like, it's really nice, all that. And then just one day I just thought, I'm just going to read it. I don't know what really like enticed me, to be honest with you, but I just thought I'm going to read it. And I just read it cover to cover and learned absolutely everything. Like page to page, I learned every single trick in that book. And it was mainly card tricks. Like I would say 2/3 of it was card tricks. So that's how I started off. Basically, I just learned everything. And then it went to like, YouTube. It was like my drug. It was like, how can I get my sort of natural high? I need to like go and find more sources. That's kind of how I would describe it in a sense. So yeah, just kept on like seeking more books, more resources.
That's really cool.
How long
Yeah.
did you practice magic for?
So I started when I was about 13, and I probably practiced for like 3 or 4 years. So I think until about 17, 18. Yeah.
No,
And is that when like cardistry kind of piqued your interest there at that point?
Exactly. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I guess, depending on the opinion. Magicians versus Cardist, like, no, Cardistry displaced magic for me. When I was about 17, 18, I just like became obsessed with Cardistry more so than magic. But I think as I was practicing magic, I was like seeing all these flourishes, like people like Dan and Dave perform, and I was seeing them do all the really cool, like little fidget moves, and that just got me obsessed. And that's what got me into cardistry, learning those first. Yeah.
Now, I think it's interesting because kind of in a lot of communities, whether it's the climbing community or martial arts or whatever, like they don't mix. They're like literally like water and oil. I think, and obviously, you have people like Chris Orbit, you have Dan and Dave, you have people who are awesome magicians and are awesome cardists as well, like, so I think it would be really cool to see more of that combination, because I know a lot of people maybe start in magic and then they drop magic and then they just kind of go into cardistry, or and if you either pick up cardistry or you don't, you're a magician, and you kind of stay with magic. Or I feel like the younger crowd, they start off a little early in magic and then they see cardistry and it's a little more flashy, I guess. There's really, it's just can be done without a spectator and people, watching from kind of a distance, and they're like, ooh, cool.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'll say one thing. So when I was learning magic, I was obsessed with like David Blaine, Dynamo. Street magic was like my thing. I used to watch all the shows, and I used to try and do
Christian, man. We appreciate the support, man.
Hey, what's up, Christian? Awesome.
Dude, yeah, street magic is definitely, I think, where so many people got like interested in all of it.
Yeah, and for me, what I used to do is try and do like street magic tricks at school when I was like a teenager. And one thing that I found was, even though I was confident that I could do the tricks, I used to get like really nervous. So when I was performing, I used to get like really shaky. And because I was like having to like manipulate, like, deceive people, like do sleight of hand, I was like, okay, don't flash, don't mess it up. I was really thinking about it all the time in my head, which is like not the best approach, I guess, when performing. But I found that with cardistry, there's no secret. It's all just open and it's there. So even if you do like mess up slightly, you can kind of freestyle and like do something else. So for me, I always found it more kind of relaxing in a sense to actually perform cardistry. So long as I could actually do the moves, if it's too difficult, then no chance. But if I felt comfortable doing it,
yeah. Now, what's your go-to cardistry style? Because I know there's that big crazy like up the arm and like raw, and then there's like that really tight, flowy, original,
like the packet cuts. Card twirls. I love card twirls. I'll show you some now real quick. I always use card twirls because I feel like I can just do them without having to really try. So this sort of stuff here. This is like a flicker card twirl by Huron Lowe, combined with a bullet by Andre Gick. Flow together so well. And I feel like I can just sort of do that. And then with that, also like angels, if like I'm feeling it, if that makes sense, because you have to sort of feel the texture for it to actually stick.
Oh,
did we cut out slightly?
Internet froze a little bit there, but we back.
Okay. So, and then also, I guess like one-handed cuts, like Charlier, like Rev 2. There's this move called Dropout, which is really cool. I do that all the time, actually, thinking about it. So you can do like a Charlier, and then you have this one card, and then you can go into the card twirl. And
that's
then
really cool.
even just like a spin is also cool. And that move there, the backdrop, for me, is like essential because like
I
love
everyone
it.
loves that move.
We call it the Hoe Drop here on Deckin
The
Around.
Hoe
We-
Drop, I love it.
When we talked to Kevin Hoe, we told him he missed the ball with naming it there. Like he really should have just called it the Hoe Drop.
Which I'm so surprised
He
because
did.
it's Kevin, and
It
Kevin's
is,
all
yeah.
about the puns.
He really-
He is.
I'm so surprised he didn't call it that.
Oh my god, such a good one though, and it really is such like a visual move, and it like seems so simple in its execution, but it is so visual still, which I really love about the backdrop.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
Like I've been practicing, and like I don't know if obviously I haven't dove into like tutorials and stuff, but I know how to do it. But it's hard to get it perfect every time. You know, it's probably just practice. But you know, sometimes it lands sideways for me. Sometimes it's like backwards, upside down. So it's just,
exactly. It's just literally muscle memory. I think I must have done it like thousands of times. So it's just you know how much pressure you need to pull down with the thumb, and then it just kind of works every time.
right.
I'll show you one other move.
It's one of the probably the most popular moves
for sure. Like I think every Cardist 100% knows how to do it.
Right.
There's also this move here. I'm going to see if I can just bang it out real quick.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so this here. This is actually a creation of mine. It's like I don't know what style that even is. I don't know what that, if it's a packet cut, I don't know what it is, but I do that all the time as well because it's just again one of those things that I've done so much, and it just feels like I can flow with it, you know. And it tends to get decent reactions, and it's like basically
cool
card twirls. I think is pretty much my go-to. Like anything, like flashy.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Dude, that makes sense though.
I like the Dan and Dave packet cut, like tight movement, the flowy stuff. It looks less contrived, I guess. I guess when I see the other stuff,
it's
like,
so nice.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it also like
into all the other stuff sometimes.
I feel like
it's fast and there's a lot of speed to it and a lot of quick movement, which makes it feel magical in and of itself too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like for example, packet cuts. I'll show you a quick one now. I think they're amazing. I think everyone, like certainly Cardist and magicians, absolutely love them. But I feel like when it comes to like normal layman people, they don't really appreciate it so much. So there's one move which looks like this. I'll do it again. I was a little bit sloppy. So this is a move by a guy called Nikolai Pedersen. He's a really cool cardist. He's got some really nice card packet cuts. This is called Barolo 2, and I feel like this is probably one of my favorite packet cuts.
There's so much
feels right. It flows
cool.
quite well in the hands.
Yeah,
and
it's really cool.
And it feels like there's quite a lot going on and stuff. Yeah, so I tend to like if I was to do a packet cut or show someone a packet cut, I'll go for that one because I feel like that's a really good way to show people what it sort of means to packet cut.
Yeah. What was the very first move that you learned other than the worm?
Yeah.
Oh, get that?
Charlier cup. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would say the Charlier cup. I'll show it for those that don't know. It's just literally a one-handed cut.
Yeah.
It looks like that. I would say one-handed cuts are like the thing that I started out on. So it was Charlier, and then I think I went for the scissor cut after that.
Yeah, those two I think go with magic. I think they kind of meld in with magic because those are the first two I learned actually as well. I'm talking like the first big movement, I guess, or packet cut, like other than the small little ones.
Yeah.
What do you think the first one was that you learned?
For sure. What do you mean, like the bigger moves?
Yeah.
Apart from the one-handed cuts.
Yeah.
Aside from the worm,
right?
That's a really good question. I'll probably have to say the Sybil cup because that was like the first packet cut that I kind of understood. I'll try and do. I'm not the best at this move, but I'll give it a shot. So just something like this. Really quite basic, nice. Yeah, great move by Chris Cannon.
That's cool. Yeah, so it looks like it's the same path as it's probably the same path that a lot of beginner Cardists do. You know, they learn the worm, they learn the Charlier, they learn the scissor cut. You know, they kind of step into it, and it's interesting.
It's like you kind of have to learn those smaller moves first, then build into something bigger. Like I feel like packet cuts for sure, you need to have a really good foundational knowledge of one-handed cuts. Otherwise, it's too complex. It doesn't really make any sense.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. I was gonna say something and I can't remember what it was now. It'll come back to me in a second.
Happens all the time.
With your interest in cards and everything, and obviously like being into the cardistry side of things, do you find yourself fidgeting with decks frequently?
Like for sure.
Yeah.
If I see a deck of cards, I'm touching it. Like I'm taking them out of the box and I'm doing something. Yeah, 100%. No matter where I am, actually. It just becomes like it just becomes like like almost like a fidget, like tick almost. You just sort of have to do it.
Yeah.
And you sort of say it's practice, but actually it's just you enjoying just doing it. It's just you relaxing usually, and yeah.
I could definitely see that being very like methodical and relaxing and calming even. So
I mean, I'm not even good at anything, and I literally always have a deck of cards in my hands, whether I'm.
It's like even just like literally just holding them and just like doing some spreads or whatever, or like just like doing this, things like that. It could be as simple as that, and it just feels good. Yeah.
Yep. Watching TV, constantly doing like Collier cuts and backdrop.
Yeah. Exactly.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
And I see, and that's for me, like I have a tough time with it. I just feel like I don't have the flexibility in my fingers, and over time, like the more I practice, the better it gets, but it's still like so much. I feel like that initial period where it's like your hands aren't used to the movement, like I said, building out that muscle memory is so frustrating almost. But once you get there, it's like, all right, cool. Like it finally clicks. And sometimes even if you understand the dynamics, it's not necessarily the movements themselves that are frustrating your purpose, but it's like the flexibility of your hands.
Exactly. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like the more you practice, eventually you'll get it, and then once you've got it, it just becomes muscle memory, and you can do it. So it's for me, it's like anything that's difficult to do. So I can also do like football tricks, like soccer tricks, basically. It's the same principle. It takes a hell of a lot of practice, but then once you've kind of got over that initial difficulty and the struggle, you can pretty much do it most times, and it doesn't really matter.
It's a skill, right? It's just like any skill. If you want to learn a skill, that very few people can literally pick up a deck of cards and do a DPS. You got to practice. It's a skill. You have to practice. You got to put the time in. You got to get aggravated. You got to drop cards all over the fucking floor. Like it's just the process of anything. How many times when you're practicing football, you kick yourself, like you kick the ball and it hits you in the face? How many times is that?
Oh, countless times. Yeah, exactly. It just becomes part of the process. It's just whatever, I mean, the amount of times I must have dropped the cards on the floor. I mean, how many cards I must have picked up in my life so far? I don't want to think about that number. It's too high to even think of.
Yeah. I mean, luckily, like when you're practicing with this and you're doing like whatever, oops, that one flew out of the way. But like when you're doing just random stuff like that and it hits you in the face or whatever, this doesn't hurt. A soccer ball fucking hurts. Or I used to practice, I used to do fire poi, like way back when. And dude, practicing with those and getting smacked in the face does not feel good. Like luckily cards are light and they don't hurt.
That's how you learn now. That's a good lesson to learn right there. Like don't hit yourself in the face.
Like nunchucks. Like you and I both know if you are just starting out nunchucks and you're gonna mess with those, one, you're gonna get hit in the head, the face really hard, or you're gonna nail your nuts, and that's gonna hurt too. Way more.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, I tried skateboarding as well when I was a bit younger, and again, it's the same thing. For me, that's so difficult. I never quite got it. But so it's all the same. It's literally all the same.
It's that perseverance through the pain and figuring out like how to not hurt yourself as much as possible. And even the greats with anything, even the greats in skateboarding, like eat it regularly and just getting back up and figuring it out.
Yeah, and I fail all the time with cardistry. Like I still drop the cards all over the place, and I'm meant to be someone good at it. So it's just how it is,
if you don't drop it, you're not practicing enough. Like you're not trying new things.
Exactly. If you don't fail, you're not really like going anywhere.
Right.
There's actually a really awesome quote by Muhammad Ali, and it's like, "Suffer now, forever live in greatness." So it sort of means like if you put in the work now and you sort of struggle now, when you're older, you kind of get to a point where you're in a much better situation.
Yeah.
Like in this case, like you can do some really cool moves, let's say in cardistry, and then you've been through that whole journey, and it's like really, really worth it.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
Yeah.
It's funny how we pull quotes from the greats, you know? You
Oh
never
yeah.
there's not very many great people that you pull a terrible quote from, if you think about it.
Exactly.
I mean, there's obviously some people nowadays, like if you're quoting Kanye West or something, like obviously he was a great producer, great musician and whatever in the day, back in the day.
Mm.
And then just thinking of stuff like great things he said in the past and then kind of quoting him now. In your head, you're like,
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I feel like back in the day, you really had to really prove yourself and be like literally the best at whatever you did. And now it's like anyone can be a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like anyone can sort of be a great or whatever.
Well, even with
Legend.
with TikTok and the massive visibility there, you do have that ability to have this like celebrity status for doing nothing necessarily.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. Yeah. Maybe not
Yeah,
even
like
dancing.
the amount of people, like yeah, exactly. Like these dancers who are now going into like music, and then you know their knowledge of music is like literally as good as anyone else's. It's kind of crazy. But
it really is.
It's like the world we live in.
I think it's interesting to see how much visibility across the world has really built out because of like the internet and social media platforms, allowing people who like, even you think like cardistry, like you said, watching Dan and Dave, like the visibility into Dan and Dave and the progression of cardistry would have been nowhere near as possible if that social media sharing wasn't a thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I mean, no matter what your opinion of social media is, it's changed everything. It's allowed people to access so much content and so many people, no matter where you are in the world, and you know you can see some incredible things. And yeah, I think that's really good. It definitely helps push, you know, like cardistry, for example, further, get out to more people, and then more brains, more creativity, more directions it can take. So it's only going to be a good thing, really. So long as you can handle it, you know. Because obviously there's the other side to social media, but no, it's mostly a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cool that you're starting to see a little bit more of it in movies and games. Like, what was the game that just brought cardistry into it?
Cardistry game from Biz?
No. There's a game.
Fortnite has cardistry move now in it. Yeah.
What does it?
I was like, please don't tell me you forgot the cardistry game by Biz.
Yeah, no. It's in Fortnite and there's a Cardist in there.
Yeah, one of the like there's one of the moves is like as a final move for it, you can do like a cardistry move.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Yeah. It just goes to show, you know. Yeah.
And you have Andre, who is like a huge, you know, someone who deals with movies all the time and working on set and, you know, helping out with cards, whether it's cardistry or magic. And I think that's big because they're bringing true moves and into these movies that people wouldn't normally see it. So if you're seeing it in a movie and you're like, wow, what the hell is that? It kind of gives you more opportunity to look into it more, you know?
Exactly. And like films are like so powerful as well. Like I remember getting inspired by so many films when I was younger. Even just like little things, like whether it's the music or something that happens in the film, it has such a big effect on people. So it's really good. Like, you know, people watching that, hopefully we'll get into it, you know, that way as well.
That's true. Very true. Now, how long have you been? So since 13. So you're 23 now. You said
23. Yeah. So I've probably been handling cards for a decade. Yeah.
That's
cool. Crazy.
Which is
so crazy when you're so young and you're like a decade.
Dude. I mean, listen, I probably haven't been doing anything for 10 years, so that's crazy to think like consistently. Like I'm not.
Dude, I disagree. Like, I guarantee you've been eating burritos for 10 years.
Oh yeah, but that's not like a hobby. Like that's just food, man. That is what
totally
it is.
A hobby for you.
I haven't been eating burritos every day for 10 years. Though what I'm saying though is like from a hobby point of view, like it's crazy to think how like locked into that one hobby or how interested in that one hobby you've become, and how it's obviously it's evolved for you from magic to cardistry, but like cardistry still while it stands on its own now, is still to some extent an evolution of magic, or a portion of magic to some extent. So it's interesting to see how you've really had that like progressive growth in the same hobby for this long. It's awesome.
Yeah,
And so
it is sick. Yeah. Sorry.
what kind of got you excited? No worries, man. What kind of got you excited about the content creation side of things? Has it been something you were always interested in as well, or did at some point you realize like, hey, why don't I make videos on this?
I think it's always appealed to me. I think when I was, so when I was actually starting out, when I was about 17, 18, I didn't actually have any kind of social media. Like I didn't even have a phone. So
Wow.
I used to like go on my computer and look at Instagram videos of like people like Tobias Levin. I know for sure. I used to watch him all the time. And I'll just literally watch them do their stuff because for me, it was like, motivation to get better. And that's where the best people was Instagram at that particular moment in time. So I think in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, well, if I actually got someone good at this, I want to show it. But it wasn't really to like show off or to like flex. It was more to sort of like document what I could do. I think that's how I best describe my social media journey from the start.
Right.
Literally just, I can do these moves. I want to just put them in a video or just a clip. And then I can sort of look back and then go, oh yeah, I can do this move, that move, and, sort of see how I've improved or whatever. And then it just sort of became, I was doing it most days and I was always thinking about it. Like, certainly when I was starting university, all I used to think about was cardistry, like everything, like literally anything. I would, somehow relate to the cardistry in some way, and always have ideas in my head about what to do. So, that was basically the whole process. And then when it sort of, when I was doing it for like maybe a couple of years, I was like, okay, well maybe I could do more. And then I like get into like the whole hustle mentality, I suppose, like Gary V type stuff. And I was like, I need to make more content, reach out to more people, try and make a living, try and like be financially independent and just enjoy life and do what I love and all that sort of stuff. And that's when I took my Instagram and all the other stuff further and actually tried to make it work, like that.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
no,
that's
cool.
pretty much
process
the
is
journey.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sort of succeeded, but I never made a living from it properly. That's like the downside.
I mean, it's a
regardless.
this community, whether it's Cardist or Magic, it's a hard community to actually make a living off of. You got to like really push, work hard, and it takes time because I think there's very, very, very few people who are paying sponsored cardists or magicians to do work for them, and
exactly.
It's just
it's not big enough or not in demand really.
Yeah, I mean, you see a little bit here and there, like it's starting to catch some momentum. But I do think, like even like with like, and even like Anna de Guzman, to some extent, she mixes a little bit of magic and cardistry together. They did that Microsoft Surface commercial not too long ago with like her and Nick and Andre and a whole bunch of people. But like, it's still very much a small segment of the people. Like the visibility and the mainstream visibility isn't there yet. It could potentially be there as people get more into it. It'll be similar to like dance in commercials and things like that. But again, it's like how many commercials out there are people going to be like, oh, let's get cardists in this and do some sort of like crazy cardistry stuff? Like it's going to be one of that, like the top 5% are making a sustainable living off of it, hustling, but making a sustainable living. And everyone else is making a good supplemental living, but still having to do other stuff or combining multiple supplemental streams.
I mean, I think the best way, if you think about it, all the cardists that are making money are cardists who've come out with their own card companies. That's the only way a card, well, not the only way, obviously, but that's the other 99%. But you have Zach, who, obviously making money with Fontaines, and you have Tobias and Heath with anyone. And so I think that's the direction a lot of them take, because that's the only way that they can guarantee income, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like supply and demand. They have the product that people want, and people will pay big money for it. So I guess that makes sense from a business perspective.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, when I was sort of in my sort of peak years, I guess, of doing cardistry, I was at university, so I didn't have to worry too much about making a living because I had like no money anyway, so it didn't really matter too much. I had some experience of like making money. I was in a TV commercial a couple of years ago now. It was like a football, like baseball cards. You can like collect baseball cards.
Yeah.
It's basically like we have it. We collect like football cards, and you can like collect all the sort of soccer players and it's like the biggest company called Match Attacks, and they were like, "Oh, we'll get you on the show. Get you on the commercial to do some tricks and stuff." So that was really cool.
That's super
And
cool.
it does feel like the main ways that you can sort of get approached is by these companies sort of reaching out to you and saying, "Oh, can we use your skills for this advert or whatever?" Like I had a friend recently who's done something similar. So I feel like like TV commercials seem to be like a really good thing. And obviously, as you said, Steve, like with the brand, with your own cards, maybe your own merchandise, it seems to be the only way. But I have to admit, a lot of like people who can do cardistry, like the ones who are sort of successful in like the mainstream, are also pretty good at magic, and they tend to be more of like a magician as their kind of like main focus. Or just like social media influencer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I think if like, obviously Anna and other people in that realm, they have like one or two cardistry moves that they kind of focus on. You have Anna who does isolation, and I think that's kind of her thing. Obviously she does backdrop, I assume, but for the most part, she's a magician, I guess. That's where
I think so. Yeah,
she hones her practice in on.
Yeah, and she's had like all the Penn and Teller TV stuff and probably other appearances here and there. So I imagine she has quite a decent portfolio, and then obviously with the social media as well. I'm sure anyone actually who has that sort of following will get deals or sponsorships, or at least could be able to reach out to people to do something.
Right. Yeah, and it makes sense from that point of view too. Like like Steve said, a lot of them kind of sell themselves as magicians primarily because I think there is a lot more recognition of what a magician is still versus what's a cardist. You know, like it's probably easier to sell yourself as, "Hi, I'm a magician who also does cardistry," versus like, "Hi, I'm a cardist who knows magic." People are like, what's a cardist?" Like, so that's almost like that little bit of like the marketing spin you can put on yourself to be like, all right, like this is how I'm going to sell myself, even if they really ultimately prefer magic over or prefer cardistry over magic even. Yeah.
It completely makes sense. I mean, magic is always going to be recognized as something amazing and something big. And cardistry, at least for the foreseeable future, is always going to be like a sort of younger sister, sibling to magic, like this big thing. So there's always going to be that having a FaceTime call. There's always going to be that that relationship, oh well, I'll just have to quickly message this person.
But no, and it is interesting to see that too. And I think, that's one of the things that being a content creator, there's that aspect of realizing that it's a significant hustle to get to the point where that is much more than just a supplemental thing. Like in order to be consistent and considered, a creator or an influencer. I mean, anyone can be a creator, but getting to that point where you're an influencer, where you're in demand, your creation capabilities in demand really is difficult in this day and age because, again, just lack of visibility. There's certain people who are go-tos, but also like there's a lot of competition in it now. Like there's so much ease of use for things like YouTube that, you're putting up shorts and people love your shorts. It's getting you a lot of following. But like the barrier to entry to get into something like YouTube Shorts now is a lot less than it would have been even 5 years ago. 5 years ago, getting into an area where it was easy to do a lot of high quality filming was harder or costly. There was prohibitive aspects to it. Now it's like anyone with a cell phone, throw some stuff up, and as long as you have the drive for it and the consistency, you can get to a point where at least you have a following.
Yeah, no, that's
absolutely
totally true. Now, do you have a TikTok, Adam?
I do. Yeah.
Bro, you are like made for TikTok. Dude, you're a good looking dude. You have a dope accent. You get on there doing some cardistry. You'll have 15 million like females and males like just following you in no time.
Dude, it's interesting to see how TikTok.
I tried.
Yeah.
So yes.
Oh, go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say I tried with the whole TikTok thing, and I started out like really early on, like super early.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of just random videos, and most of them like I would say like maybe 75% cardistry, and the other 25% were like sort of football. And it was always the football ones that did a lot better. And I got to like I think 10,000 followers on TikTok, like maybe in a few months or something. But then it just sort of like plateaued. But I mean, it's definitely the sort of platform where you could have a video and it will just blow up. And it seems like anyone can have that success. But you don't have to have any sort of foundation. Like, you know, you don't have to prove yourself or anything before you can just literally post, and who knows what happens. I'm a little bit out of it, to be honest with you, but it seems to me like TikTok reacts well to like interaction, like people speaking or like people together, as opposed to like a sort of skill. So I feel like if I was to do it, I'll try and figure out a way to make it interactive.
Yeah.
One of my friends, Evan Alberto, I'm sure you heard of this guy.
Yeah.
He's called the Card Guy. He's one of, I would say he's probably one of the most successful cardists ever in terms of like what he's achieved in terms of his social media following and being able to like make a living and base himself from these videos. And he's done extraordinarily well doing it. And
I mean, he's up to what, like,
magic,
he does pushes a lot of magic on TikTok at least, but he's up to like 11 million followers or something like that on TikTok, right? Maybe more.
Yeah, exactly. Probably 15 or something, 15 million. But yeah, exactly. So I knew him as a cardist back in the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was always a magician. And now, as we said before, like he's used his sort of magic heritage to sort of say, I'm a magician who also does funny, cool videos. And then cardistry is just like something else that I can do, you know, here it is. And that's like, that's all you need to do, really. Like if you're going to be doing what he's doing, you don't need to like make it a focus. And that's honestly like something that I would want to do. I think when I was learning cardistry, I never really wanted to like be a cardist. You know, I never wanted just to be like the guy that could do card tricks. I just kind of wanted to be able to do it. And there was honestly like nothing more to it than that. And then you kind of get to a point where you know so much and you could do so much that it's like, okay, well, I'm a cardist now, you know, it just happens. And then you sort of like, you know, go with that. And then, yeah, like now I've got like an audience and people who actually enjoy what I do. So it's like, I feel like I need to at least, you know, be doing more of it so they can enjoy it more than anyone else. So yeah, it's kind of weird how it all works out.
Yeah, it's interesting. You just have to keep pushing it, right? It's like time. You know, in jiu-jitsu, it's like they always say it's mat time. You just keep putting mat time in and it'll work out. You know, it's kind of the whole 10,000 hours by Malcolm Gladwell.
Well, and you think about like you think about even like you said, the interactive aspect of TikTok, even like now it's almost like if the football performs better and you need to figure out how to make it like interactive, you almost need to do something where it's like trick shots with like football, where you could be like, oh, call a corner on the goal and I'll kick it there or something like that, or obviously you got to make it a little more entertaining than that, but like getting that interactivity. So what it ends up doing is it allows you to chain more videos into it. And you see it all the time now where it's like you put a video up, it gets a lot of reaction, but then people make subsequent videos off of the comments and it continues to carry that reaction along, because then it's really interacting with the interactive aspect of the video. And so you end up building even more following, because then people want you to respond to their comment. And so it's almost like a self-fulfilling kind of like ability to create content off of one piece of content, which is really interesting.
Really, really interesting. Yeah. There's nothing like TikTok right now. I mean, it's been one of the best apps for content creators for like at least this last year or two. It's been
Yeah.
absolutely incredible,
Sure.
absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely true. It's funny because I don't do TikTok at all.
Mm.
And I don't even have an account, so I don't see TikTok other than the TikTok that infiltrates my Instagram.
Yeah.
But obviously we talk about it a lot, and everybody has an account, and I see a lot of stuff. Everybody's sharing their 15 million, 10 million, $5 million pictures posed on their Instagram that they have that many followers on TikTok. But
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's crazy how many followers you can get on TikTok compared to like what you would have on Instagram or YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous numbers at this point.
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
It doesn't really mean anything, honestly.
I mean,
Well,
it doesn't. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't mean.
It really doesn't mean anything. That's the funny thing.
Well, it's the way you use it too. I mean, ultimately,
Yeah.
you can take 15 million followers, and if you don't utilize it, yeah, you're right. It means nothing. At the same time, if you sit there and you try and figure out how to move that to platforms where you can monetize or you can make impact or you can sell merch or whatever, like then you actually start seeing it follow through. But a lot of times too, out of 15 million, you probably get 150,000 maybe. And then on top of that, you push that, but it's a great way to build another platform. I mean, you look at what look at what Chris Ramsey just did with Twitch. Twitch is one of the hardest platforms to build on right now because there's no promotion by the platform other than the person who has the most views gets the first spot on the search list. And so to go from a 4.5 million person subscription YouTube, he's able to convert that into probably 40,000 viewers on Twitch, which someone with no other platform building 40,000 viewers is near impossible. So that's where it really comes into play as you move it into other platforms where you can build more of a following and see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, sounds like I'm talking to Gary V.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he would say. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, no, I love Gary V's stuff too. I think dude has a good message behind a lot of what he does there, and a lot about how you can build cross platform and really trying to understand, like even Twitter, which is such a older platform now in comparison to like Instagram and TikTok and all these other platforms. Twitter still has so much amazing momentum behind it if you figure out how to utilize it and how to beat the algorithm there.
I mean, the reason why it's so successful is because it's kind of it's basically the text version of TikTok. People don't want to read a Facebook post. They don't want to read. They don't even want to see. I mean, they want to see images, whatever. They go to Instagram, but they don't want to see all this other stuff. They just want quick little updates from people, especially their favorite celebrities. Obviously, most people are following their celebrities and news sources and stuff like that. I'm not following Tyler on Twitter and seeing what he posts for lunch or, so I think it's more of keeping up to date with your favorite people and your favorite celebrities and stuff like that. And I think that's what it's best used for. And that's why it's been so successful.
Exactly. And it's like people have such short attention spans nowadays that you're almost forced to have any sort of content like be super quick, like whether it's a video or just a picture.
Yeah,
it's just got to be like
3 seconds, not even 3 seconds to pull someone in.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
3 seconds. If you don't pull someone in 3 seconds, they're gone. It's weird.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
It is weird when you think about it. Yeah, but again, it's human nature, at least for this current generation of people.
Yeah,
just gotta go with the flow. It's gotta do what you gotta do.
Randa says, "Can you ask him how many years we need to perfect cardistry?" I feel
how many yarns or years?
Years. How many years?
How many years? Obviously, it's different for everyone. Took me a good sort of, let's say, 3-4 years, and then I felt really confident. And that was like practicing every day. Even if you're just doing like 10 minutes, it's always about consistency over like anything else. I mean, like you could have like a 4-hour crazy practice session, but it might not be as good as, just like doing it in bite-sized chunks over a week than doing like, let's say, 2 big like practice sessions a week. So I'd probably say like 3-4 years, at least for me anyway.
Yeah, before you were comfortable with doing a bunch of stuff freely and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I feel like I would know my way around pretty much everything. Yeah.
That's cool.
And one of the cool things about it, though, too, is it's still such an evolving field that over those course of those 3-4 years, so many different techniques and new things are being created that thankfully you're building the skills to make easier to ingest. But still, I mean, even now, having done it for as long as you have, I'm sure there's still things where you're like, all right, like that's a cool move. I want to learn how to do it. And then it's not just like bang, first try, you're hitting it out of the park. It's still like you understand the dynamics better so you can learn it faster, but it's still a continuous learning effort, which is really cool.
Absolutely. Like every day is a school day. You know, you're learning something new every single day. But I feel like you get quite complacent after a while. Like if you can do enough, you find your style and then you start creating. At least for me, you start creating your own stuff.
Yeah.
You've got your own style, your own moves, and then it's like, I'm set. You know, like you don't even think too much about trying to learn other people's moves at some point. But then there are some moves which are just so enticing. You think, oh, I just have to at least give it a go. It just looks so cool. And you have to put in the hours. You know, you can't just do it naturally, even if you might have a good understanding about how it works. You've got to pour over that move until you get it right. Same for everyone.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's like those core movements that just appeal to everybody. You know, ATM, you have Lego Love, you have the backdrop, you have like there's those 5 core moves that everybody want to learn because it just looks dope. No matter what you're doing, it just looks dope. You know,
exactly.
you have the top shot that I obviously can't do right now, but you know, the cool stuff that's flashy, that's easy enough. You know, obviously Lego Love not being easy enough, but it's just those really pretty moves that I think
absolutely
pull people into Cardistry, you know.
Yeah, like the spring has to be like one of the most powerful moves, I think, for laymen. Like anyone can look at a spring and just lose their mind,
which is so fun because it's so like it's so that's the first thing people learn other than a fan, right?
Exactly. Fans and springs start basic. It's crazy, but sometimes the more simple moves get the best reactions. A good thumb fan and a spring, easy.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
Yeah,
you know, and then you have Jaspis who creates crazy springs off of the main spring.
Yeah, like the rainbow spring. I would never even want to attempt that. I think I might have tried before, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
He's so good looking.
Huh?
It really is such a good looking, like the rainbow spring. I love it, but he is so creative with everything he does. It's cool.
I mean, look at the way he looks. He's just a creative, fun dude. We call him the BTS of Cardistry.
Even though his hair is now like regular, like normal, his natural color now, and I'm always just like, I'm like, when's it gonna be like pink or orange or green again or rainbow colored? Like,
they'll just switch it up when when you least expect it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Come out with a new color.
Oh my god, yeah. He should start like coordinating them with his deck release colors. So like the last Broken Borders, that like that purple, orange, and blue. He could have done like orange stripes in his hair, things like that.
We'll have to tell him
that'd be a great marketing tool.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now for you on the creative side though too, lately you've been doing a lot of like YouTube shorts. How have you found that platform? Have you had more success with the card side of things on that front versus what you originally tried on TikTok?
Basically. I mean, YouTube shorts are absolutely incredible. It's similar to like reels and like TikTok videos. It's just literally short clips, and it's so easy for those videos to get explored as well, because I don't know if you have the YouTube shorts on your phone or whatever, but you can like literally scroll down when you're watching a video and then they just sort of appear. Then there's like a whole like scroll section of them, like
that's cool.
section. It is amazing. So I post a lot of, back in the day, I posted a lot of short tutorials, which are like under a minute. So I was like, just transfer them over to YouTube, and lo and behold, I mean, some crazy views have come out from YouTube shorts. There was a video which I posted a couple of years ago before YouTube shorts existed. I don't know if it counts as a short video or not, but out of nowhere, it just got millions of views. Like,
is this the card twirl tutorial?
Yeah, just like
I'm scrolling through right now. 2.1 million views.
That's crazy.
2.1 million. Yeah,
good for you, man.
Yeah, but like, why? You know, it doesn't make any sense. But I guess people.
Did you wink into the camera?
Yeah.
I don't even think you could see my face in those videos because it's actually quite funny. So the way that it's been filmed, it's like a point of view. So like you can see both my hands. I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the clip, and it's something that everyone's sort of like wondered like how does it get filmed? Because I just literally used my phone. And what I was doing back then, I had like quite a small iPhone. It was the iPhone SE, which is like between a 5 and a 6 for like a comparison, not like the new one. And I should like literally take the phone and put it into my mouth like that, hold it into my mouth. And then it acted like a bridge. So the camera was like here looking down. Like I literally hold my hands below the camera and do all the cardistry. So when it came to filming Instagram videos, for example, it was quite a different way of filming than everyone else putting their phone up somewhere and doing it like a flip shot. I was like doing it like a bird's eye shot.
Yeah.
And that in itself, I mean, was different enough for people to be like, oh, let's like, get all these videos explored and like, get out to more people. It's just like, anything that you can do to be different is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like literally these random videos that I just made, powerful. You can get these sort of views with them. It's pretty mental.
Yeah.
But yeah, like shorts are great. Like I think in terms of like content creation, social media, anything that's new, just jump on it. Just jump on it, because if you're like one of the first people to do it, then you're going to have a lot of success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and especially now because, historically, it's interesting to see like Twitter, and we talked about this earlier, Twitter versus Instagram versus Facebook. The type of media you post on all these things has always been historically different. But it seems like a lot of the new social media is trending similarly. So TikTok versus Shorts versus Reels, it's all basically the same thing. It looks a little lazy when you post a TikTok directly to your Reels and it still has the TikTok watermark on it.
Yeah.
But like if you posted the same video on both platforms, you're not losing views because people are like, oh, this is the same as the other one. Because of that short form content, it seems like there's so much more drive to be able to utilize the same content on multiple platforms. So it's really interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, I don't even think people would care if you posted a TikTok video and had the watermark on Instagram, because for the majority, at least for Reels, like it's going to be random people seeing it anyway, like more so than your actual followers. So, like if there is a slight possibility that video could just get like, decent amount of views and get you more exposure, why not? Just go for it. Like, you don't have, like, I was such a perfectionist when I was younger. I was like, oh no, everything has to be perfect. It's got to be formatted perfectly. The music's got to sync perfectly. I don't like. It's not that I don't care anymore. It's just like I'll just do whatever, because I know that any video could just do well, as long as like the actual core like message or like actual clip is good and has some like relevance to people. People actually enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm just like, don't overthink it too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Chris said, didn't TikTok up the time limit to 3 minutes now?
So it's an early access thing. I just responded to him there too. It's an early access thing. So they have like a beta for that right now, which will be interesting to see if they try and transition
change things. Totally.
I mean, so it'll allow you, because the thing about TikTok now too is the way that like what the content is has transitioned so much away from like just the dancing stuff. Like, dude, you have people on there giving like financial advice, which is like super weird. Like I wouldn't necessarily trust it, but like it is what it is and people eat it up. And like being able to do that in a longer form now may actually allow for more detailed information to be ingested. And it could actually make TikTok become like a learning platform, which is such a weird thing to think of.
It's really weird, yeah.
Nobody's going to use it for that.
Dude, obviously, people already use it for that. This is where,
let me rephrase that. There's always people that are going to use everything for everything. Is that the proper outlet for them using?
So, and this is where that like, and this is where I think that's why you don't like TikTok, because you're still in that mentality of Facebook is for keeping in touch with your friends, YouTube is for videos, Instagram is for pictures. TikTok isn't for anything specific now. TikTok is a flea market of ideas and content creation.
100%. But what's the demographic on TikTok
at this point? Basically 11 to 60.
Okay, but what's the big
11 to 60?
Bullshit.
Dude,
there's
I swear to God, they've
60-year-olds on there. Bullshit.
You can go check it out, dude. There are over.
I'm sure there's going to be like
TikTok is the largest social media platform right now.
But I want to know the biggest chunk of demographic. It's not
Well, you
11 to 60.
You
That's
have
not
like
it.
2 point something billion users on it. So you figure out what part of the age gap that is out of 7 billion people on the planet. So a fifth of the people on the planet use TikTok.
I want to know like how from 11 to 25, like what's the biggest chunk of people on TikTok? Because there's there's not a million, 5 million 60-year-olds on there. I guarantee you.
20 to 29 accounted for 22% of it, 25% of it. Dude, here's 25% of it is teens, 22% of it is 20 to 29, and the other 50% is 30 to 60-year-olds. Like it's almost an even split across decade-wide gaps. That's the crazy shit.
I like how they put, but here's the thing, that it's 30 to 60, and that's
well, that's basically everyone else. Everyone else is everyone else is 50% above the 30 mark, basically.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So,
so it's a large stretch there, but you
your
still
bulk
have
is 29 and below.
About even. That's the thing. 29 and below is also 50%.
Yeah, I guess if you use that
for sure, for sure. But you know, there might be 4% of 40 to 60, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Here you go. Yeah. Bo just said TikTok is currently testing a learning tab where you just go to be educated on things. That's what I'm saying, dude.
No, that's cool. I mean, isn't that what whatchamacallit is for? The whole fucking that
LinkedIn?
Other new platform, Hangout. What is it called?
Clubhouse now. Clubhouse is just for bullshitting with people.
It's for learning. It's for like going and having meetings and shit. Dude, this is so much garbage going on.
But like, you know, I can see it because a lot of the sort of videos on my For You page are somewhat educational in some form, whether it's people giving advice or whether it's people like I said, like stock talk is like this big thing at the moment. And yeah, like even people just like doing tutorials on like dance moves, like literally could be anything. So I can definitely see TikTok being a really good educational platform. Like I was thinking about something along those lines like a while back when I was sort of trying it all out. I was like, this could really work because it will just grab people's attention. So I was thinking like for school, like we used to have like these revision books we had to like read through and like learn everything. It was like, imagine if you could translate that from like the book to like TikTok videos, like a teacher could have an account and create like somewhat entertaining, like 30, 60-second clips of like the content in these books. And I reckon kids would ace their exams. Like I swear it'd be like way more passes than
that'd be cool.
People just having to like read books and stuff. I can see it being really big in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see a big step in the mental health direction on TikTok.
Yeah.
I think
there is actually a huge movement on mental health in TikTok as well. There are several.
I mean, just like moving forward with like the educational side of it, and
I mean, there's several like large scale creators on TikTok. I can't remember any of their names now, but like who have like millions of followers who are solely dedicated to like mental health awareness and mental health resource sharing and things like that, which is crazy.
That's
but
great. I think
it really is
much needed in that age gap for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too, like the ability for TikTok to become a learning platform will be interesting to see because you have to be able to break away from that super short form aspect of it because you're never going to be able to learn. And I guess this is where I kind of get like a little like dissuaded as a learning aspect of it is like you think, Adam, you mentioned stock TikTok, stock talk, and like it's great to have people say, hey, you should invest in XYZ because it has solid fundamentals and that's a 60-second video, but you don't explain the fundamentals. It's more so like, it's more so being sold on something than actually being informed about something or learning something. And I think that's where they're going to have to pivot if they actually want to become a learning platform is you actually have to teach the underlying aspects of it, not just tell someone to do something, and that's where they may struggle. But dude, I think the power of the platform as a whole and the power of social media these days is just absolutely crazy. And like, really, there's so much potential there to see. I mean, I'm sure kids these days, instead of going to their parents when they have, math problem homework, like you mentioned, they go to YouTube, they go to the internet. Like it's easy, it's accessible. Most kids these days have a phone or some sort of device that's internet connected and they can get on it really quick. Hell, I feel like most schools now have like iPads in them in the US, which is crazy.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the second biggest search engine. But here's the thing, like Rembo just said, he's a plumber by trade and he laughs when people say, I'll do it myself, and they'll just watch a YouTube video. And you know, he says good luck with that. But dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like literally, I just cut Leslie's hair the other day. I watched a 20-minute video of a hairstylist, like a hairdresser, cutting a mannequin's hair, and then I cut her hair. And literally, you can watch anything on YouTube and you can do it. I'm sure there are very difficult things that a plumber does, obviously. My grandfather was a plumber and highly respectable. And you know, but what it comes down to is if someone is literally walking you through something, it's fucking easy to do. You can build a computer by watching someone do it. You might not have to be knowledgeable about why you're doing it in code and all that stuff. You know, you might not follow the rules, but
I'll be honest though, building a computer is not much harder than putting together Legos. Like we can be very candid about that. Like,
but what I'm saying, but have you ever had to put a new toilet in?
Yeah, but I already knew how to do that, like pre-YouTube. Like,
no, but what I'm saying though, there's people that if they don't know how to do something like that, instead of paying a plumber to come in and do it, you know, it's going to be a shitty job. See what I did there? But I've done it. I've changed a toilet by watching a YouTube video. So there are a lot of things that you don't have to bring professionals in for anymore because you can watch it.
It's the more specialized knowledge that becomes more impactful. So like Rambo said here, you know, working on pressurized systems, like, I wouldn't recommend someone try and work on a pressurized system in their home when they probably don't know much about a pressurized system because they'll probably blow their eye out or something like that, you know? But at the same time, something as simple as like how to mount your faucet on a sink that you're putting in, not crazy hard, or how to snake a drain, things like that. Like the simple aspects of it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the super detailed stuff that, you know, you learn as a one-off, going to school for and through experience over 20, 30 years over your, you know, your job career, you know, you're not going to dive in. I'm not going to go build an engine, build an engine in a car. But I'm sure
that's probably not that hard either, all things considered, though, too. Like, that's just, again, like, no different than Legos. You follow instructions, you put the pieces together.
Yep.
It might blow up, but...
I mean, you can say that about anything, even like a pressurized system. If you learn about it and you know how to manipulate it and everything, you could just do it. It's the same thing, right?
I'd say there's probably a lot more complexity to something like pressure. When you start involving science into it, it's a lot harder than, like, put piece A into piece B. You know, like as long as people can understand. I don't know how many
engines you built, but try putting anything into an A into B, even if it's supposed to fit, it doesn't.
I mean, dude, I've built like 2-stroke engines before. Like they're not.
I'm just saying, like,
like it's significantly different. I definitely think there's a spectrum of what you can learn easily to do yourself versus getting into the more specialized knowledge. Like, dude, at the same time, like, understanding the aspects of like how to troubleshoot an engine that doesn't work going together is where that specific knowledge comes into play, and that experience and that hands-on knowledge. And sometimes that's not easy to translate into teaching. It also is a big aspect of how easy is it to find someone who knows how to teach on YouTube. I think that's another aspect of it, because you get people on YouTube who are terrible and you get other people who are great at it. I mean, prime example, actually, I was replacing, and this is a simple one, I was replacing pedal covers on my, like, pedals in my car, like the gas pedal and the brake pedal. Watching one YouTube video, couldn't figure out for the life of me how the hell the guy was getting the original pedal off. I watched another one, the guy's like, just put a screwdriver here and clip up a little bit and it pops right off. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes a ton of sense. The other guy's like, get a box cutter and cut here and then you peel it apart. And I'm like, it was like a 19-minute video. The other guy's was literally like a 2-minute short. And I'm like, all right, perfect. 2 minutes short. Let's do this. Like, some people are made to teach, others are not. And just because someone's an expert in something doesn't mean they understand how to convey that expertise to other people. And so I think that's also somewhere where it comes into play too. And, you know, a lot of the comments that I've seen, Adam, on your shorts tying back into this, are people are like, dude, I don't know how you taught that so well in 42 seconds. You know, like you seem to have a natural capability to be able to kind of explain things in very short form to people where they're like, oh, wow, I get that. And they may have to go back and watch it 3 times, but the auditory aspect of it resonates, which is, I think, the most important part, because if you can explain it to someone in a way that, they may not get it the first time, but they feel like they're starting to get it, that's where you're encouraging the learning, versus someone watches a video and they're like frustrated by what they're hearing. They're just going to walk away. You know, they're not even going to look for another video. They're just done.
And then if they like the way you teach, they're going to come back and watch everyone after that.
Yeah, I guess, and I think at least when I was like not even just cardistry, but anything, like I always look at YouTube videos as well, like to learn anything I need to. I'll watch like 2, 3, 4 videos that pretty much say the same thing, but in different ways, to sort of get like the overall gist of it. Like even the small little things, like you're saying with like with the pedals, like having to use the screwdriver, simple, but like if it doesn't get explained, like super clearly, you wouldn't really think to do that. So yeah, I guess for me, I just want to make it as transparent and as clear and as simple as possible. I'm not trying to like butter it up and make it all fancy. I want to just be as real, like as clear as I can, and that tends to work. Yeah.
Well, the POV approach for your stuff too makes a ton of sense, because people can look down. People can look at your video, then look down at their hands, and it feels exactly like when they're looking at your video. Like I always get a kick out of when you see people trying to teach stuff and it's not a POV aspect, especially when it's hands-on, because it's like, well, now I have to remember to like reverse what I'm looking at because they're doing it. Exactly. Yeah, and like it gets very complex.
Nick, he's like, I'm just better learning from people with British accents. They just sound smarter than us.
There you go. I love it.
True though, they sound so sophisticated,
we're not
Boston
really.
Who sound the complete opposite. We have the same pronunciation on the words, but our accent is just terrible.
One day, I'm just going to shoot down your whole Boston thing. I'm going to find out all about it. I'm going to find out Boston is 72% Irish people, and it makes no sense.
That makes complete 100% sense.
Oh my God. But no, and so I guess, on the creation side for you, a lot of it, was it just that you wanted to build that creator aspect, or do you enjoy the teaching aspect of it as well?
I guess like when I was starting off, I really wanted to create. I just felt like that was a natural thing, because I think I've always been that way out, because I used to write music before I got into magic. So I kind of always.
Dude, what don't you do? I play football and I write music and I do cardistry and magic. And,
I just had a lonely childhood. I didn't have anything else better to do, so that's just what I did. So yeah, like I always sort of thought I had that in me, I guess. So it was a very natural thing for me to go from like learning a ton of stuff and then being like, okay, I know enough now. I can maybe just like freestyle and like change this little motion here, and then it's always something new. So I just kind of went with that, and then I started teaching mainly because I have friends who are like, oh, you should teach cardistry instead of just like performing all the time. Like people want to learn, and I was like, I guess I'm in a position where I feel comfortable and confident enough to be like, yeah, this is how you do it properly, and this is how you can make it looking pretty decent. And then I was like, yeah, I'll just do that, because I just want to be, so again, like super transparent. I don't want to have this like closed off attitude, like, oh, I can do all these amazing things. I'm not trying to show off. I'm not trying to be anything. I haven't got like a big ego or anything. I just want to be like, as real as I can be. So yeah, I guess like teaching kind of brings people together, and it's like, yeah, you can also do this. And I do feel like, especially when I was posting them on Instagram, like little tutorials, there was nothing. Like, there was absolutely niche going on with like Instagram. Like any like TikTok, like there's barely any sort of tutorials out there for cardistry. So I was like, this is where all the attention is. Right. So surely, like if I was like vaguely interested in it, if I saw a video that was like 30 seconds long and it was like, oh, here's how you do this little move, I might be like, oh, I'll learn that, and then I'll get into it. So I was like, that surely is like a really like perfect gateway from like bridging people who have a little interest in it to then actually taking a deck of cards and doing something, and then it's like, oh, I can actually do that, and then start that process, start that journey potentially.
Yeah,
it just kind of made sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's finding out that process that works is half the battle, right? Is once you find out what works for you, and if you're good at something, people are going to follow it. That's just how it works. Yeah. And like Tyler said, not everybody is good at teaching. Anybody can have the skill set. There's a lot of people that have that skill set, but they don't have the skill set of teaching. It's just like anything else. It's like having the skill of anything. You either have the skill of teaching or not.
Yeah, it reminds me of my chemistry classes in when I was like 16, 17. Oh my God. Like I had a teacher, and he was so he was very clever. He was super intelligent, but I could not learn a thing from him. Like nothing made sense, even like the most basic stuff. So like we were saying before, bringing it back a little bit, I had to go onto YouTube and teach myself how to like, you know, learn all these like complicated things about chemistry. And I had to like literally go through like all these different teachers in various lab coats and different glasses and everything until I actually get like the knowledge that I, you know, that I should have got straight away. So that is very true. You know, not everyone, and he's like professional. He's getting paid to do this, like, you know, to actually teach kids. And I couldn't learn a thing from him. I felt like such a dummy at the time.
Oh, dude, 100%. It's funny because, you know, in the jiu-jitsu world, you see world champions all the time coming out of specific schools.
Yeah.
And like Brazilian jiu-jitsu is fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, it's like we're all learning the same thing in some way, shape, or form. There are little nuances in between different academies and styles within Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But what it comes down to is it's who's teaching. You know, and that teacher, that instructor is just so good at what they do that they're just pumping out world champions and pumping them out because they're just so good at teaching it. You know, and then you have other people who are world champions themselves, but they don't have the world champions pumping out of their school because it doesn't correlate. They don't know how to bring that knowledge and ability that they have into their students, you know, and it's just
I do feel like people have different approaches. Like I think for me, I try and just make it as simple as possible. Like I don't try and like make it fancy. Whereas I feel like someone else would probably teach it a completely different way and explain other nuances, other little details, like, you know, more clearly, or maybe go into more detail. And then maybe someone could react better to that particular approach than maybe the more basic approach. Like it really just depends on, as you say, like the teacher, the way that they kind of like convey the message, and then like, you know, how people that sort of pick it up. Because I guess it's difficult really because everyone's different. So it's really hard to cater to everyone's taste, you know. But I think if you feel like you've done a good job in yourself, that's all we can really wish for.
Yeah.
And then if it works,
different levels of it, right? It's like, let's say I'm a beginner, you're an intermediate, and Tyler's an expert, right? Everybody within these categories are going to learn differently at that level. If I'm an expert, right? And I want to learn from an expert because I know the movement, I know how my hands have to move or whatever. I'm not going to go to someone who's a beginner who's teaching, okay, you're going to place your finger right here and move it out. You know, I'm going to go to the expert and be like, I just have to watch it. I understand the concept and I'll be able to do it. So I think there's obviously videos for everybody. We just need to find the video that's for us at the level that we're at learning.
Exactly. It reminds me of like, I can't remember like what YouTube channel it is, but it's like there are some videos where it's like experts explaining something to different like people, like whether they're like a complete beginner, intermediate, like, you know, professional. And I think there was the one I remember was Jacob Collier. Sorry, he's like a British musician. I don't know if you guys know him. Ridiculously talented guy. Cool. And he was like explaining like the concept of harmony, I think it was, to like it was actually, you see these videos where it's like explaining to a kid, explaining to like a teenager, whatever. It's basically that. You know, it's explaining to like different stages of life, different people from different backgrounds. And he ended up explaining it to Herbie Hancock. And when it got to his turn, he was obviously like using super simple vocabulary for like the kids and like the less experienced musicians. Then when it came to like Herbie, they said absolutely nothing. They were just literally playing chords and like different structures. And that was their way of communicating. It was such a weird alien thing for me to witness. I think for everyone actually to witness. But it just goes to show, you know, different levels. Like people can, you know, react differently and pick up different things.
Yeah. I mean, Herbie Hancock doesn't count. He's an alien anyway.
Yeah, he's just ridiculous, isn't he?
I still the one song I remember, and the only song I remember, obviously, I mean, I've heard a billion things because he's produced so many stuff, but like, what is it, Rocket?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's called Rocket, right?
I think so. I'm not like too au fait with his stuff, but I just know about like his general works, and like I just feel like, yeah, dude's like ridiculously smart. I think that's why him and this other guy that I mentioned just like go together like so well.
It's Rocket. Yeah. Everybody go watch Herbie Hancock Rocket.
I'm gonna watch it after this. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the sort of mental compatibility of some people, like they can just understand something in such an amazing way. And it's like complete doesn't make any sense to like me, for example.
Yeah, there's a huge subreddit on Reddit called "Explain It Like I'm Five" that has a very similar premise.
That's
And
awesome.
honestly, you go in there and it's packed all the time with people asking questions and people responding, being like, "Here you go. Like, you want to know how grass grows? Like, bam,
Yeah.
here you go." Like, from simple stuff to like hyper complex stuff, and it's really interesting because sometimes all you do need is that kind of like entry level explanation for things to start clicking.
Yeah.
Exactly. It reminds me of. Have you seen The Office? Steve Carell.
I know of it.
Have
I
you
haven't
not?
watched it.
Oh, you got to watch it, guys. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. I don't know. I think it's on Peacock now. I don't know if you have that. But like, yeah, one of the quotes was like, explain it again, but like, explain it as if I was an 8-year-old. Just like, and that is just like so true. At least
well,
for me,
here's the thing. Nowadays, it's like, explain it to me like I'm a 25-year-old, because 8-year-olds are a lot smarter than 25-year-olds nowadays.
with the way,
It's
with the way
scary,
technology
actually.
goes,
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's scary.
Dude, that's just gonna keep like the more we give technology to kids, the more they're gonna be too smart for their own damn good.
It's so true.
Jeez, like imagine how they'll be when they're like 25, 30, whatever. Like, they're either going to be like ridiculously clever or like messed up.
Yeah, like antisocial. They don't go outside and do things like, dude, like I can't imagine like growing up now and being so involved in like, oh, your friend comes over and you watch TikToks together. Like, instead of being like, like play games together and do like fun interactive shit that actually builds motor skills and all this stuff. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Everyone's going to be so like ingrained in cell phones and social media that everyone's motor skill development is just going to be like super like stunted, and we're going to have a whole bunch of like a whole generation of like uncoordinated kids who can't figure out how sports work or anything like that, and like can't figure out how to like catch a ball.
Thank
you, Nick. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Nick.
Dude, no doubt though. Like, it is a scary thought, right? Though, like the idea that like technology is, I mean, and I think a lot of people say that too. Like, technology is great, but it also has a very significant downside to it. Like, we may not know what that downside is or how it really fully manifests for years to come.
It will come out though at some point, and I think it's going to be people are going to be like really antisocial, or they'll feel like lost without their phone or something. You know, withdrawals.
Dude, well, check this out. You want to hear? I've told this to Tyler before, but so I have a good friend who's a world-renowned surgeon. Okay, so he's kind of in the whole whatchamacallit? What's the word I'm looking for? Like creation kind of world. So he's done a lot of world-changing. Why can't I think of the fucking word?
I don't know. So Steve's basically trying to say his friend is a very well-known surgeon who's created like medical tools or devices in the past. Yes, he's a medical inventor, basically.
That's changed the world. So he deals with a lot of people who are like next level. And one of his good friends did a study on the impact a phone has on us. So basically what he did is, over 100 people, he did it, and he would wire people up and he would take their phone from them, right? And wait an hour or whatever it is, and then give their phone back. And the effects that they had in their brain when they got their phone back is like seeing a loved one after a certain period of time. And so, I mean, when somebody takes your phone from you, how uneasy are you?
Yeah, exactly. It's like your whole life is in that phone.
It's so crazy. What's up, Mom? My mom's here. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Steve's mom.
Hi, Mom.
I love how excited Steve gets when his mom comes. I mean, I get excited too, but not that excited.
Man. It's my mom.
I know, that's good though, man. But
and
it's crazy to think though too, like you said, how connected we are with that. And like, I mean, it's funny too, because you look at a lot of these like tech moguls. You look at like all these people like Bill Gates and all these smart individuals who have kids now. they don't let their kids have iPhones. They don't let their kids have iPads and play around with this. Obviously, Bill Gates is not letting his kid have any Apple products. But like with that in mind, like what I'm saying,
well, we know
like,
his kids aren't having PCs because they probably don't work.
But
I'm sure Bill Gates' family has iPads.
but that
It's
here's
like
the thing
secret
though, like
stash of iPads.
Yeah.
all these kids like don't, or all these people like don't let their kids have like technology for like free usage all the time. Like there's a lot of them who are like, yo, my kid's 13. Why do they need an iPad? Like they don't. Like, yeah, they want to watch television, cool, but like you want to go read a book, read a book. Like you want to go outside, play with your friends. Like you don't need an iPad to like have fun. And I think that's part of like what we forget is like, dude, I used to love going outside and playing like Manhunt and like doing stuff like late night in the summer, going out and like having a good time. Now it's like you tell kids like, oh, go outside and have fun. They're like, yeah. Like, and granted, that's a generalization. I'm sure there are kids who still go out and have fun, but it definitely seems like a large portion of like kids' entertainment now with their friends is revolving around cell phones. So like two friends will go FaceTime a third friend who couldn't hang out, and they'll just like talk about bullshit. And it's like, what the fuck's the point of that?
They'll all talk about TikTok videos they're watching.
Probably.
Yeah,
basically. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
My mom says she loves your accent.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad.
I'm glad.
My mom's
I grew up myself.
My mom's best friend lives in England. Well, maybe not now. She moved to Puerto Rico, I think, but lived in England pretty much her whole life.
And so now you are not currently in England, though. You're in Malta right now, correct?
I'm in Malta, exactly. Yeah.
So what drew you to Malta originally?
So basically, I finished my master's at university, and I was trying to get a job. And basically, long story short, I couldn't. And I thought that
no jobs as a Cardist, huh?
And no, like literally nothing from any of even just like a basic 9 to 5. I was struggling finding something in the UK. But it's kind of crazy actually, because I thought, oh, if I have like, especially having 2 degrees, I should like, walk into any job. But it just doesn't work like that. It's so weird. Anyway, I have like some distant family that live out in Malta, and barely like I think I saw them last like 10 years ago or something when I was like a kid. Anyway, they like hit me up and they said, oh, there's this like game presenter job going in Malta, and I was applying for like all these office 9 to 5 jobs, and I literally just got out of an office job, but lasted like I think 5 days. I was so bad, and I just didn't really do the work. It just wasn't for me. So I was like, okay, something completely different. Let's just give it a shot. So I did the whole application, ended up getting the job. So yeah, I just like, screw it, Malta, here I come. I had no real commitments. I had a girlfriend actually back then, but I was like, I'll do long distance, and then that was literally it. Boom, came to Malta, and then since then stayed for like a year. I mean, I was only anticipating staying for like maybe 6 months, but then the whole coronavirus hit because I started like November 2019, and then by like literally a month later, like start of 2020, like the whole world just like seemed to stop. And I was thinking, I've got a job. I've seen all my friends in the UK like lose their jobs, people put on furlough, which is like where the government pays them a certain amount of money as part of their wage. And I was like, I don't want to like get in that situation, so I stuck it out. And then pretty much stayed in Malta ever since, apart from a little trip back to the UK for a few months. And then
it's funny because when we were talking in our little pre-show, I never knew what Malta looked like, and we pulled it up, and the best way to describe it is like
tan grease,
a tan like a tan grease, just like a tanned grease,
like a dirty grease,
grease. it's basically
so true.
There needs to be you know what you could do as a job in Malta, dude, and you make a fortune.
Paint stuff white.
No, you don't have to paint it. Just go through with a power washer and you'll be good.
Oh my god, man. I love it.
I'm gonna start tomorrow.
There you go.
Tomorrow morning.
Dude, you'll make a fortune. Just walk up to the first person's house and be like, you want to look like you live in Greece. Be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Be like, and they'll be like, oh yeah.
It's just beautiful, like white. There's like trees. Oh
my god! For anyone who lives in Malta watching this, we apologize. I'm sure you love the country the way it is.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I like it. It's just sometimes I like feeling dirty. If I go out all day and I'm in the woods 8 hours, whatever. I feel dirty. It doesn't mean I'm different. You just go home and you still got to clean up. So
Yeah, I mean, like it's it's a weird one because it's such a small country. Like the population is like 500,000. Like that's not even a state in America. It's
really
ridiculous. It's ridiculously small, and it's mainly made up of. I don't know what the statistics are, but I have a feeling it's like half Maltese, like native Maltese, and the other half are like foreigners. Let's call them, like people who are non-Maltese. It's weird kind of makeup,
crazy.
but yeah.
The fact that they pull all the color from the outside into the inside is really crazy too. Like, is every room in wherever you are, is every room the same color?
Pretty much.
Oh man!
Yeah.
So the paint industry is not booming over there. They're not looking. Nobody's looking for like pink and blue and green paint over there.
If you walk into someone's house and it's a different color, you're like, oh my god!
It's like a shock. Yeah, like it's literally just going to be cream, brown, and white, and that's literally it in Malta in terms of the inside of houses. At least like, I've got more of a brown logo.
Is it very hot there though? Like all year round, pretty much.
I would say so. I think right now it's like maybe 25, 26 degrees Celsius, wherever that is in Fahrenheit.
85?
77. So it's okay. So it's always pretty warm there, and I've seen a lot of like tropical places. Granted, in tropical places they use a lot of like brighter colors and everything, but like they also use a lot of like if you go to the Caribbean at all the cars are basically white or silver because there's a lot of that reflective aspect to help cool things down. So maybe even from that aspect, they may be like, oh yeah, they don't do darker colors because it attracts more sun and because it's naturally a warmer place. I actually just looked up the population too on that. 23% of the population of Malta are immigrants.
Wow.
So that's
23, it's so still like quite high though.
Yeah, so it's there's like 517,000 people in the country, and 120,000 of them are immigrants. So that's a pretty solid number. That's significant.
That's huge. Yeah, it is pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. But I feel sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, if you go to like Spain or like Portugal, Greece, even, like you will see everywhere is painted like pretty much like white, as you said, to like reflect the sun. But I feel like Malta, like it's more like this brown. It still kind of works. It still kind of works, but it's like you would have thought everything would be just like white all the way around, like you would see in these other countries, but it is what it is, and also there's no trees in Malta. Like there are some somewhere. I haven't seen them in a long time, but there's no trees. There's like no real grass. It's just like rock. It's just raw. It's just like Malta basically. It's just like one huge rock that is just sitting in the Mediterranean. Like that's literally the best way to describe it.
You're not selling me to go there, bro.
And here's the real question though. How's the food? Is the food good?
Oh, no.
No, definitely not selling it. That I was gonna say I'd go somewhere that sucks if the food was good, but like
I wouldn't.
Okay, so I'll say this, right? You can have this what I would call the Mediterranean diet. So you can have the fish, you can have the salad, you can have the wine, and that is beautiful. Like no getting around that. But when it comes to like actual Maltese food, I'm really sorry to anyone who's Maltese, but it just doesn't quite hit the mark. I'm sorry.
What kind of foods are Maltese?
So there's this thing called pastis. I think it's called pastis. It's like a pastry, but it's like really greasy, and it's like about so big, like that. And you have like chicken inside, or peas, or like cheese, and it sounds all right, but it's just like it's not really that good, to be honest with you. It's like super fatty, and then they also have like when it comes to like the sort of confectionery stuff, it's all just like really dry biscuits. Like at least in the UK we have like the chocolate, and it actually has a little bit of like texture, a little bit of moisture, and more it's just like it's like eating like sand. Like in some cases it like makes your mouth like super dry. It's like not really, for me personally, it's not really amazing, but I don't know. Like because it like there's a lot of influence from at least other like Italy, for example, and like the UK. Like you can get literally the most basic stuff, like you get like your milk chicken, whatever, and it's not a problem. Although one thing I didn't know this when I first got to Malta. So in the UK, we can drink tap water. I assume you guys can drink it as well.
Yeah.
You can't drink the tap water in Malta because the way that they get their water is something called like reverse osmosis. They have these reverse osmosis plants, and it's like really salty. So I made the mistake of like not doing my research properly when I came here. So I was drinking the tap water all the time, thinking, "Oh, this tastes a bit funny." And if I was like, making food, like, we have like this thing called gravy in UK, which is like a sort of meaty kind of paste, I guess you would call it, like a sauce. And you have like, it's like coffee, you put the granules in. You put these granules in, you put like the boiling water in from the kettle. I was using tap water and eating it, and it's obviously like so salty, but I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, oh, it must be the brand or whatever.
Yeah.
But after a few days, my God. I was not off that toilet for the whole day. I was there. My stomach took a beating, but I guess it kind of like got used to it, hardened up and everything. So we survived.
It always takes a little bit to get acclimated to a new area. When I go to Thailand, I've been to Thailand a few times, and when you go to Thailand, you basically have to kind of introduce yourself again. They call it Bangkok. They call it Bangkok belly. So it's like you get there, you eat the food. Just their bacteria is different, and you're gonna deal with it differently. And you get there, and you're gonna be on the hopper for a couple of days. That's how you deal with it.
Yeah, it's just how it is. I guess like you have like Delhi belly in India. I guess it's all
exactly same exact. Well, Delhi belly is a little worse than Bangkok belly. But
actually, probably. To be fair,
you don't want Delhi belly anywhere.
No.
No. I'm not looking forward to that. That's for sure.
So basically, then in Malta, then it's all bottled water for you.
Yep. I've got a prime example here.
Nice.
All this sort of stuff. So like that's how it is. But like the most annoying thing, like, and it's such like simple things that you take for granted, but like having to go shopping and you're like, oh, I haven't got any water. It's like I never once thought in my life, oh, I haven't got any water, because there's always like like being the tap at home, for example, when I was back in England. So you have to like carry like this like huge like 6-pack normally of water, and it's so heavy. So you have like you're shopping in one hand, then you've got this water in the other hand, and it's like a workout. It's like an intense workout all the time. Having to walk back to the studio here.
Do they charge you a lot for the bottled water?
I think it's €2.50 for 6 bottles, and I think these are like 1.5 liters. I think it's 1.5. So I don't know. I mean, no, sorry, 2.5. I mean,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
No.
I mean, to be honest, I'll pay it because we have to drink it. I haven't got a choice, really. Exactly. It's like it's either €2.50 or it's just life on the bog. So you've got to make a decision.
Life on the what do you call it? Life on the what?
Life on the bog. It's like I think it's a British way of the bog. Yeah, it's like a slang.
I'm totally gonna use that. Life on the bog.
Yeah. Life on the bog.
Oh my God.
I'm totally gonna use that. 100%.
You should. Yeah, the way you said it's funny as well.
For the love of God. Man. And so, do you think for a while, like Malta's where you're gonna reside, or is it something where you think you'll probably go back to the UK at some point?
Get the fuck out!
I'm packing my bags.
Why do you even live there? You're basically you literally work online. You don't like the food, and it's dirty there. What the hell? What's the point of being there? Did you meet a girl there at least?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, okay. Look, I'll tell you one thing about girls in Malta, but so in answer to the first question, so in terms of like my life right now, I feel like yes, I'm pretty comfortable here because I have a decent amount of friends here. Obviously, it's a good lifestyle, and I'm getting some money. So for the moment, it's good. But I'm always in the back of my mind thinking, right, well, what is the next step? Because when I went back to the UK like last Christmas, I was like, I'm going to be here now, and I'm going to try and base myself maybe like London, but it didn't work out because of the whole lockdown. So for now, it's still like, difficult times we're living in. So I have to really like be grateful that I've got this job at least, and then just sort of think in the back of my mind, right, where I'm going to take it. So yeah, I think Malta, at least for probably the rest of this year, I would say. I'll be surprised if I left Malta before. But no, like when it comes to girls in Malta, because Malta's the sort of place where
I
people
love how
come
we
and go.
started. The question I asked has gone like this big run around, like, and he had to like set us up for. Okay, so girls in Malta. Okay, let's hear it.
All right. So like obviously with that stat, like there are lots of girls from all over the place, like people from all over the place that come to Malta, and it's a sort of place where people will come and go. Like, you know, especially in the old job that I was working at, people just like handed their notice and just go back to their own country, like, you know, in pretty short notice. So in terms of like relationships, personally, I don't think that they really exist for people like me in Malta, because like how are you gonna how are you gonna keep a girl who's like, you know, or like even for you, like if I just go back to the UK or whatever, or go wherever in the world, and then she'll be like, oh, I want to go back to my home country.
Right.
Is it really ever going to work? This could be like, you know, very complicated. So people, I feel like a lot of people come to Malta with like this sort of hot girl, hot boy attitude. It's like anything goes, you know, it's just meet people, enjoy life. You know, it's like, you know, there's no real sort of commitment. I think it's very difficult to find someone.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. So I feel like like a lot of people would break up with their boyfriend, girlfriend before coming over, and then they have like their fun here, and then they go back.
So basically, if they want to find a relationship, they should go to Ibiza.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like all like Malta, like even like those sort of party islands. It's like, I mean, what are you going to do?
Sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but you know, like never say never. Like you never know what's going to happen in life. You know, and especially when it comes to girls, like they just come out of the blue. When you're completely unexpected, like they'll just appear. It's always happened like that for me, at least. So
that's how it happens. You know, they're sent from the heavens, buddy, and they're sent to make your life better or destroy it. That's what.
They're in between.
we gotta. I mean, and we're sent for the same reasons, obviously. You know.
Exactly.
But no. I mean, I think that's the best way though, is when you're least expecting it, and it just happens. Those are usually the magical relationships. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, I'll stick with the cards for now. I'm good with that. And whatever else I'm doing,
and the cards will follow you. They'll follow you everywhere too. We're talking about cards here too, and we're already an hour and 30 in. Dude. We have not done our sniff.
Yes, good call.
So, we're doing the sniff.
So we should do our sniff here. So to give a little context for anyone watching, we do this thing for every episode called Sniff for Stu. We have good friend Stu, who's known in the playing card community for sniffing and eating decks of cards. And obviously, we're not going to ask you, Adam, to eat a deck of cards. We sound like you have enough intestinal issues with the water there, so we don't want you having to throw it down with some cards too.
Yeah, we don't know if it's actually the water, if it's just your intestinal issues.
But with that said, do you have a deck of cards handy?
I've actually got a brand new deck of cards.
All right.
So I did plan a little bit ahead. These cards are really cool because my friend designed them. So big shout out to Scott Black.
Nice.
Scott's watching.
Scott actually.
Scott was in earlier, yeah.
What was he? These cards are really cool. Void playing cards. Shout out. Four Corner is the brand. Void playing, and they have this like 3D. They're meant to have like they do have this like 3D effect. So it looks like. So if I was to hold them. Let me try and give you a good shot. It should sort of at the right angle. I don't know if that really
depth to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that really works.
Yeah,
but it works. There had to be some sort of depth to them. So these cards are really cool. I love them. Yeah. So I can crack these bad boys open.
Do it up.
I might have to go and get some scissors though, because I've literally just cut my nails. So with me for 2 seconds, I'll get these decks open. But yeah, I think you can still hear me even if I walk over here. So
you can.
Yep.
It's all good. But yeah, like I think I received these cards like last year or something.
Oh, nice.
They're a nice looking deck for sure. I remember when they were on Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey Adam, your pictures above your bed are off center.
I know. Actually, speaking of like multicultural. It's actually a thing. Okay, I'll be honest. Like in my old apartment, I stayed in for a little bit. Like for some reason, the way that it was designed was it had like let's say a picture here, and then there'd be like another one starting there, and then there'd be like another one there. So it had this like weird, like, you know, asymmetrical sort of feel to it. They need to get like a what's it called? What's that thing called? That the US a spirit level need to like measure it out.
Level.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you know, but yours are just like
Okay.
yeah, they're crooked.
They are actually. I won't say why, but yeah, you can probably.
Yeah,
get the
I don't want to know why.
Oh god, I love
All
it.
right. Okay, so brand new.
Nice.
Get it going. So do you want me to give it a big sniff?
Yeah, give it a big sniff. Tell us what you think. What's it remind you of?
Okay, let's do it then. Big sniff. Oh, it's so nice. I mean, anyone who's watching this who hasn't got any knowledge of cards is going to think, "What on earth?" But there is something so beautiful about a fresh deck of cards. It's like freshly cut grass. I will compare this to freshly cut grass.
I'm gonna Chris Deckhead gave me an idea. Hold on.
Jesus.
Oh shit. I just unplugged my damn headphones. God damn it. I hate headphones.
Steve's always struggling with this here. But yeah, it's funny too because the USPCC deck, they always have a much more like earthy smell than some of the other like Taiwan or like Legends and all those playing cards where it's very chemical.
Okay. Yeah, like I don't know where these are made, to be honest with you. I don't know what I don't know who produced them. I assume it's USPCC.
Those are USPCC.
Yeah. It says made in America, made in the USA.
Those
so
are USPCC.
No, yeah. But yeah, definitely like it doesn't feel too like intense or like sort of like chemical, as you say, like toxic. It's a very like natural.
So it's not printed in China. That's good.
Yeah, it's a start, and they're not like horrible like plastic cards like that. They're the cards that I started out on. Destroyed my hands with those horrible plastic cards.
My mom, dude, we're gonna have my mom on when she gets her Visions deck to sniff it. That would be hilarious. We'll have it on the 24-hour. So Chris, Deckhead Chris gave me a little present this week, and
okay,
he's like one of my great customers, a good friend of mine, and he lives literally like 15 minutes down the road. So every once in a while, he hands me things. He's like, "Oh, I got something for you." So he got me this deck holder. And
it's a tube sack.
It's basically it's literally. I guess he got it. Where did they get it? They give these out of Blackpool or Magic Live or something like that. I think he said Blackpool. I might be wrong, but basically it's made for a deck, and you just put a deck in there, and I think a sniff would be good out of it.
Yeah, hopefully. Depends if they're using recycled socks or new socks.
It looks pretty new. It doesn't have this yellow stain. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my day.
Oh my god.
But it's pretty cool how they made it. It's like literally made for a deck of cards. I was like, you know what deck would be perfect for this is the undressed deck.
That would be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Chris, where did they give these out?
Yeah, Chris, let us know if he's still in here. I saw him a second ago, so
yeah.
Oh god, yeah. No, it's interesting how like nostalgic a good deck of cards smells though. Like it's a relaxing, calming smell.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Like it's just one of those things. Like it's like new possibilities, like fresh. Like the cards feel amazing. Like they fan and spread beautifully.
Nice.
It's like it's quite something.
Yeah. Yeah, they were given out at Blackpool.
For sure. But like, they're also very slippy. So actually, for me, I like them when they're a little bit more dog-eared, when they're a little bit more like used, because I feel more confident at least handling them, because I know they're not going to like just way and then like all slide all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know exactly the feeling, like that fresh deck smell, and then like just doing like 10-20 fans when you get them out of the box. Yeah.
And so what's your go-to deck usually?
For like general use or like
general use, yeah.
Ooh. At the moment, so it's a little bit messed up because like pretty much 90% of my cards, at least in the collection, are back in Cambridge, like in the UK. So the cards that I have in Malta right now, I got these, the Virtuoso 2017 from my friend Senna. Shout out Senna from Deckin to Decks. So he put me up with these. So
I love
I
the Fall Winter
I love
17.
these cards.
Such a nice
Yeah.
deck. Yeah.
This design, like I'm certain this is one of the best cards in Cardistry. In fact, it's probably the best brand, I would argue. I've got these cards at the moment from Scott. I've been keeping them handy, and I also have Arcos, but they're really old.
Nice.
They're super old. I had a guy, actually an American guy, give them to me years and years and years ago, and they still kind of work.
So cool.
Still kind of work. They're really old, but yeah, they do the job.
Yeah, they work.
Yeah.
You know what? This is what I got to say, and this is for anybody who trains at something, at anything, and who is good at it. It doesn't fucking matter what deck you use. If you're good at it, you'll fucking make it work.
Exactly. Like I've got bikes.
I'm making excuses and saying, "Oh, I only use USPC." Shut up. Be good at what you do and use it.
Steve, calm down.
That's what it's all about.
I'm gonna tell Steve to calm down right now. Steve's getting heated for no reason. But that being said, people have preferences on their deck just because they like to. People have preferences on underwear. No reason. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Steve just likes to be a little bit feisty.
I prefer Cardamundi. All I'm saying is that what it comes
dude, I
down
100%
to,
prefer Cardamundi.
if you want to do Cardistry, you can do it with any deck.
Yeah,
obviously, you prefer what you
100%,
prefer.
100%. Yeah.
But if you can only get Arco, fucking get Arco and just practice Cardistry. You'll get great. If you pick up a deck of Arcos and then you train on Arcos for a year and then you pick up a deck of USPCC, you'll probably be great. You'll be, but what it comes down to is just practice. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. I have a good piece of advice actually for anyone who wants to maybe get started. So this is something that I wish I did back in the day. So I actually made a video about this on my YouTube. It's like I called it like how I taught myself Cardistry or something. I sort of recounted the steps, recollected like the whole history that like my journey basically. I started out on really terrible cards. We have this store in the UK called Poundland, which is like, I guess Target is probably the best equivalent I can think of.
It's Poundland?
Poundland, yeah. So like Great British Pound. The little pound coin, Poundland.
So it's like Dollar Tree. It's like Dollar Tree.
That makes sense.
Like the dollar store. Like the dollar store. It's like the idea is everything's a pound.
That's so funny.
And and they used to sell these cards and it was like they were horrible. They were bridge size. They were like nasty. They would like bend really easily. Yeah. And when it came to practicing, I would just destroy them, especially when I was learning under pressure. The amount of decks I destroyed learning that move. Yeah. You would not believe. All the cards have like a permanent bend in them. They're like C-shaped, not like, normal. Anyway, where am I going with this? Right. So if you go on Amazon, at least now, you can get a brick of Tally-Ho Circleback cards for like £30 or something.
Yeah.
Really, really cheap. And Tally-Ho Circleback cards are really good. Like when I was starting out, they were literally my favorite, actually.
I mean, those are USPCC.
Yeah, they're solid stock on them. Yeah, and they look good. They have that nice circular element. Looks nice.
Super cool cards. And I would honestly like 12 decks of cards is enough. Like I'm actually one of those few cardists. Like I don't have a huge deck collection. I don't go through like loads and loads of cards. I have like enough, but I make it work, So I would 100% recommend anyone pick up a brick, and then you have cards for like at least a year or 2 years, and you can practice. You can like do card 12s, packet cards. You can do like literally even the hardest move for me, like the prediddle, where you like continuously spin a card on your finger. You can do that with circle, but you can do it with any card. But like, you can do everything. So I'd 100% recommend people do that. If you're a little bit stuck for cash or just want to have like cards to practice with,
right?
Get them. Yeah.
I mean, that's like Chris said. He's like, look at those kids who are insane in some village using the same deck that they've been using for 2 years, like a rider-back deck. Just crushing it.
Yeah. I mean, these Arcos are at least like 3-4 years old, at least. Like that, you can probably see by the box, it's just mashed up.
Yeah, I mean, can you still fan them? They still fan?
Okay, so a little backstory to these cards is I'll have a go with the fan. Not
Perfect.
too shabby.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, man.
Great.
Not too shabby at all.
Yeah.
Okay, a little backstory to these cards. I was a fool because I basically, long story short, a girl invited me to her house. It was like a house party, so that equates to alcohol and getting drunk. For the love of God, if you're watching this and have any decent cards, do not bring your expensive cards, not bring your nice decks of cards to a flipping house party. Like even just to perform, whatever. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Oh man.
And I had them on me, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen your video. Can you show me some Cardist? Can you show me some tricks?" My heart sank because I knew the only deck of cards I had on me were these, and I was like, I have to do it. I've got to like put on a little bit of a show, you know. Got to prove that I can do this for real. It's not just tricks and like editing.
Yeah.
Jeez, like, and then she's like, "Oh, let's play a game," and the cards were like being dealt out, right? And oh, there's one's gone straight into a puddle of vodka and coke, and oh my God, you know. It's horrible. But like what I did, I don't know if this is like a thing, but I was like, I came home and like the first thing I think of, I'm going to try and clean up these cards, just like take them almost like one by one, just like brush them. But I literally took the deck and I put it in the fridge.
Yep.
I don't know if this is a thing. I have no idea if it's literally just me that does this, but I put them in the fridge because I feel like they kind of clump together. And at least like if there's cards that are like a little bit like dog-eared, like that bend up or whatever, at least they'll be somewhat flat. And then to be honest with you, over time they sort of like fix themselves. It's a bit like skin, like it sort of grows back and the cards somehow like spread better and stuff. It's kind of weird how it works, but yeah, I managed to sort of save them, but I'm not doing that again.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say I've got nothing.
I think the cold pulls the moisture out of them and it allows them to just handle better, because that's what happens when Lee Asher actually talked about it. When you get that clicking noise in your deck, what you do is you put it in the freezer or the fridge for a little bit, and usually that goes away.
Helps re-regulate. Yeah. So we actually had a good question here from Chris too. How is the cardistry community in Malta? Does it exist?
In Malta?
Is it basically you?
Just me.
You could use that for your advantage, man. Just go stand on the corner with a hat and be like, and maybe they'll
just
throw
like
you some money.
Street performance, it's like never seen before. Like this alien has come to Malta and does like does the card spring, and everyone's like, oh my God.
You could do it while you're kicking a ball.
That'd be sick. I would love to do like more combination stuff. I did try that actually. So one of my sort of ideas for like content or whatever moves was like basically doing football freestyle tricks but with a card. So I've done a few videos where I've done an around the world with a playing card. I've done like there's this move called it's a Tuzani. It's called a Tuzani around the world. So Tuzani is a guy that created it, and then it's like going around the world. It's like basically, so it like imagine like these are my legs. It sort of like goes like that.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I think this specific one was actually called an alternative design around the world. But anyway, I basically like just posted like these random football like card clips, football cardistry clips. Every single one of them has done well. In fact, so much so, I got a feature. Like this is going back ages ago now. From People Are Awesome. They hit me up and were like, "Hey, can we use your clip?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, can you use my clip? Hell yeah!" And it's just like random, like it's just such a random idea, but yeah, it's different enough for people to be like, oh, "Okay, I can kind of vibe with that,"
Yeah, nobody's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like always trying to think out of the box, so to speak, with cards, and yeah, it does definitely work. But I mean, I have actually tried not so long ago filming point of view shot with my phone. I'll have to reveal something on this podcast for you guys.
Let's do it.
I was trying to film a point of view shot while I was doing cardistry, whilst doing football freestyling at the same time, and it's pretty much impossible. I reckon I could.
That would be awesome watching that.
It'll be absolutely insane. I really did like think, oh, I could probably give it a go, but I think I need to like put in more time and just like figure it out. Anyway, I will show you how I film my videos at the moment, and it's like a little hack. I just need to get something. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Sounds good.
So you can admire my bed in the meantime.
It's just the one picture though. It's just the one picture.
Yeah, it's like
oh my god, I love it. Also, I'm focusing on the ceiling. Yeah, it looks very like raw.
So cool. I wonder how like damp it gets down there.
No, I don't want to know. Like
AC. All right. Is that a number 4? Oh, I thought it was a number 4 on the wall. I'm like, you need to like number your walls so you know which one.
Yeah, so it's like when I wake up, I know which way is the exit.
Yeah, right.
Follow the arrow, like in airports. All right, so this is like a little life hack, actually. If anyone's watching is interested in filming like videos with just like literally your phone. Okay, so if you own a hoodie, get it basically.
I don't think I own any hoodies.
So you get it. So you normally put it on, so like it's like that. You want to turn it. You want to turn it around.
All right.
I'm gonna do this without my AirPods falling out.
Everybody, he's not drunk. He's doing this on purpose.
Yeah, like I'm trying to show you something. Okay, so you put it on back to front, right? So you have the hood here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let me put it up quickly. Take the sleeves, put it all back. So it's like a scarf now, basically.
All right.
Make sure this hood.
Now you look like you go to Cambridge.
University life.
Yeah.
Take your phone, put it inside the hood, and just let it rest. You have a perfect shot of you doing point of view. Perfect shot. Yeah. So if you want to like even practice, like doing cardistry or whatever, do it like that, and then you can literally see yourself doing it. I think this is going to be like one of the best things, actually.
I could definitely see why this would be difficult, though, to do cardistry and soccer and football freestyling at the same time. Yeah, like phone like hitting you in the face.
Like my phone's like doing that already, and I haven't even done anything.
Yeah, but what about the mouth? Yeah. You kind of upgraded from the mouth, huh?
I basically upgraded from like that.
Yeah.
To this, just to save myself, really, because I don't want to like have no teeth.
Yeah, probably a smart move.
Yeah. So yeah, a little life hack.
Dude, you have to design something now that enables you to do that. There must be something out there.
I mean, they probably make clips that you could put on like the front of a hat or something, or like clip on the front. Actually, if you got like, and I don't even know if they make these anymore because I don't think they're like in fashion anymore. But like when they used to have like the cell phone belt clips. If you got, like that's the thing. I don't think people really use those anymore. But if you got a case with a clip on the back, you could probably put the clip on the front of your shirt, and that way the phone would be facing forward, and then when you lean down, it may lean down with you.
That would make sense.
Actually, you know what you could do? You could put the clip on the inside and clip your phone in it. I mean, I don't.
Like the whole case, and then it's clipped.
Inside. That might work too.
Yeah, you probably have to wear a thin shirt. Either way, do it with a shirt you don't like because it's probably either going to stretch the neckline or stretch the fabric out. But
GoPro and a helmet, that's way too old.
I mean,
you can do GoPros are not cheap either.
No,
that's
they're
the problem.
Cheap. You gotta do what Spade did and get that tiny little camera.
Yeah, but even that wasn't cheap.
And just stick it to your forehead with like that double-sided like
oh my god
stuff, dude. It'd be perfect. Then you can do whatever you want.
We don't advise anyone sticking adhesive to their forehead though. Just throwing that out there for legal purposes.
Not Gorilla Glue or any adhesive. It's
tape dude. That double-sided tape. People react to that, dude.
Oh, whatever. They'll go with that after. But
no, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it. Don't listen to Steve
you find
on
out
this.
what your skin reacts to. Test it on your arm first.
There you
Make
go.
sure
There you go.
it doesn't burn you. Anything like that. We are not telling you any ideas with ironing your lips or anything. Like just proceed at your own caution.
I thought you were going in the right direction there. You're like, guys, be careful. Don't iron your face. And I'm like, what?
Remember that thing they did with the lips, the whole lip thing where they like suck the bottle
into the bottle and like
stupid. People are stupid. But anyway, our viewers are not. They're amazing and they're intelligent and they're bright. They would never do any of that.
So Rhonda wants to know if you can give him any tips on bullet.
bullets. Yes. Do I even have a video?
Let's see.
Okay.
I just
think
started
do.
learning bullet.
I'll tell you what. Like, I'm pretty sure I have a tips video on Instagram, but I'll post it on YouTube tomorrow. So if you can subscribe, that would be sick.
There you go. The
How's
link
that
for
for
Adam's
service?
channel is down in the description below, so definitely go subscribe.
But yeah, we'll
let's all
do.
give him a follow.
That'd be sweet. So we'll do like a quick tips now. So it's literally like a card twirl. So basically, the way that card twirls work is you have like this super basic mechanic, which is just like literally clipping, and then that's literally it, and then crossing. That's literally all a card twirl is. But then you have to sort of move the hand at the same time. So it's the coordination from when you clip it here, turning your wrist down at the same time, you're kind of crossing those fingers. And that's what gives it that kick, which makes bullet. That's like pretty much the whole move. So it's like when you cross and turn at the same time, you get that really nice like pop. And then you have to do the same, reversing it. And then just try and like, practice like getting that thumb in place to then move it down. So it's like slow motion, something like this, And it's same with flicker. It's like, when you do the outstretch, it's like you got to twist that wrist as you kind of cross like this. Like that's basically card twirls in a nutshell. It's as you cross, you turn. And It gives it like a sort of double effect. So I would definitely recommend practicing the coordination between crossing and turning, and then doing the same. It's like, turning a door handle, something like that.
Let me see.
Nice,
That
man.
should make it look a lot better.
I find like when I do it, I kind of go. I don't go parallel. I kind of like when I'm here. Oh, look at that! I picked up 3 cards.
That's like a triple card twirl.
Dude, that's like the triple bullet. I'm not going to show you.
That's
how to do
it.
that.
I know. It's like that's a.
This is a brand new
big
freaking deck. That's probably what, not the smartest.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
So boom, this way.
Oh. No, not quite. Because what's happened is you're kind of, instead of you holding it at the tips, you've kind of got it like that.
Oh,
So you want to get it. You want to get it at the corners. You want to get it right at the corner. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So if I do it again,
like that.
Basically, not quite, because it's still a bit awkward. So if we do it slow together, it's like you want to get in this position first. So basically, it's like you want to literally just pull down and then move this index finger so it like goes underneath here like this.
All right.
And then it sort of just like sits there, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So if you get into
I don't want to make this a tutorial about me, so I guess everybody can learn it.
You never know. This might just help someone.
Right.
So when it's like resting like that, then you want to. It's really hard to show. I'll do it like this. You want to then clip it in the corner, so it's always going to be in the corner. So even when you cross it, you see it's not here.
Yeah,
it's here, and it's sort of looking like that.
Oh, so it's on the same.
It's going like in a diagonal, and then when you uncross it, you see it comes back like here. That's where you want it to be, and it looks really nice like that. So, like almost like a diagonal here, right in the corner, and then it's like you go back.
Oh, so you're clipped. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I need.
That's pretty much how it works. Yeah, it's like
I need to practice the crap out of that.
I'll post my video tomorrow. I have to remind myself, and then hopefully that will do bits.
Dope. Yeah, that'd be dope. I'll have to study it, because I'm definitely when I do it, it's definitely I'm not getting. First of all, I'm not getting it like this. I think the way my hands are going is not like this. And then when I twirl it.
Yeah, I can already see the issue. You need to basically pivot. It's a bit like this move here.
Okay, I can do that for the worm.
It's basically like this, but if you think of it, it's like you want to put your middle finger here, so basically it acts as a pivot point. If that makes sense. And then when you pivot it out, it's going to naturally be in this position. When it's going to be naturally in the corner.
You put the deck up higher, then, yeah.
Not really.
I guess not. Yeah,
No.
I don't know.
I just push the cards back. So there's one card just like, with a little bit of space here, so I can basically pull it down.
Right.
And then when I pull it down, it's all just in the same.
Oh,
same
so
sort of
you
plane.
bring that thing in. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, I like sort of
Cool.
pull it down, and then it's like I go and do this basically,
Gotcha.
and then you're ready to like do the whole twirly thing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I think from your part, it's like you need to pivot it first, and then you get into the twirl. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's intense.
All right.
It is
Well,
intense.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
practice for sure, and then I'll watch your video too.
Yeah, everyone should go out and
Awesome.
watch the video tomorrow for sure. That's going to drop on Adam's channel, which is down in the description below.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Sweet.
Look forward to seeing you all there.
So, guys, while we're at it, did we have any other questions for Adam?
Yeah, last minute questions.
Whatever.
I know I had one question that came in here, which I feel like we touched on the whole idea of how old you were when you started Cardistry, but one of them actually was, would you ever get back into Magic?
I think I will. But I have this weird feeling that I'll only do it when I'm like old, basically.
Okay.
I feel like I'll probably get back into it when I'm older. Because the thing is, I used to study people like Erdnase,
All right.
and I used to like learn the technical sleight of hand. So I feel like if I had some more time, I would definitely feel like that kind of sits right with me. I'll probably like, get the books out again, study it all. Because I feel like that I can see that happening. But in terms of Magic, I mean, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not really on my radar. Never say never, of course.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of love for it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's just one of these things. We'll have to watch this space. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, that's cool, man.
You only have so much time to do so much practicing, right? I mean, you can practice obviously on both, but it takes away from one of them and perfecting something that you're working
I feel
on.
like if I was to get back into Magic, I would probably try and do like a whole sort of street Magic thing, because when I was younger, I never used gimmicks.
Yeah.
Never. And I think the reason why is just because I didn't have any money to buy them. I think that's literally the reason why. So I basically just learned sleight of hand and impromptu. Like my whole vibe was impromptu cards. Like, you shuffle the cards, give them back to me. I'm going to do something.
That's really
it's going to
cool.
blow your mind. So
That's the stuff that I love the most. I'm not, I think some gimmicks that Tyler and I go through and that I see are super rad, But what I love about Magic is the cards and the manipulation, and especially knowing how something's done and still not seeing it is
it's beautiful.
Really,
like when you watch a true like craftsman like perform sleight of hand, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
So Rambo Racing wanted to know, do you back any Kickstarter campaigns?
Not really. I only really back my friends' campaigns. I don't really buy cards, to be honest with you. Like
you mentioned you're not a collector necessarily.
Not really. I mean, I have cards that I have kept safe because I'm like, oh, that would be cool if I had like a sealed deck of like whatever. So I'm pretty sure I've got rare cards like virtuosos, like old virtuosos and fontaines and all that sort of stuff. I've definitely got like some good cards, but no, I'm not really a collector. I want to use them,
Nice.
But no, in terms of like Kickstarter and stuff, like not really. If I want to buy cards, I'll be like, I'm just going to buy them, So there are some, like Anyone cards, for example, Fontaine. Back in the day, when I was a little bit younger, I would like, get a few decks. Like I'd always go for like three. Three was like my magic number. One deck to use, one deck to put away, and then one as like a backup. That's kind of how I thought. But no, like when it comes to like, for example, these cards, like obviously I'm always going to support my friends in whatever they do. So that's like a no-brainer for me. But I'm actually not that knowledgeable in terms of like cards community outside of Cardistry and Magic, like actual playing cards.
Yeah.
I know there is this one guy I heard about him when I was like younger. Like his name's V Jose 32. I remember this guy, and he has like, God knows how many cards that man has been through.
Yeah.
God knows how many cards he has. But like, I just always remember like his videos, like, hey, what's up, guys? And then it's like, got some random card, some random cards to show you.
Was that your impersonation of him, or?
No, it's just like I was I'm trying to think how to even speak. It's like, hey, what's up, guys?
Oh god, too good.
He's probably a cool guy. I don't know.
Life on the bog.
Oh god. So Chris wanted to know, how can people build their cardistry community?
How can people build there? So like, you mean like your kind of personal
So
brand?
so yeah, that's actually a good question. Chris, can you can you clarify whether you're trying to build a community around cardistry in your area, or are you trying to build your brand / community?
Yeah. Or
'Cause,
like a
yeah,
whole offshoot.
Yeah, because they are two distinctly different things, and I think that is one of the things for people who are more getting into cardistry now. It's, you know, it's tough finding people in your area necessarily who also are into cardistry, so you have that social aspect of it. He wants to know, like, in your country, how would you build out a cardistry community if one didn't exist?
We're asking Adam, who's the only cardist in Malta. I don't know if he's the right person to ask.
I was gonna say, like, I'm probably the worst person to ask at this point. I'm pretty lonely out here, but honestly, it is social media, mate. Like, I'm thinking about the UK boys here. We all kind of got connected via this like group chat, which actually, thinking about it, I am literally the worst when it comes to group chats in general. I literally never open the messages.
Yeah.
I am absolutely horrific, and I'm the admin.
Okay.
I'm the admin of the flipping channel of the group chat. I never open a single message. My apologies.
That's too funny.
My apologies. But,
they can get overwhelming if you miss like a day or two, and then you open it, and there's like
I've missed like a year at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, basically, Instagram, I would definitely like say is still very relevant. You'll find people from just watching videos or maybe like looking at hashtags and stuff, and then you are there from whatever. Like, I know that in America you're probably thinking more like state, like instead of like America in general. Right. But even just like reaching out, like if you posted like a story maybe and said, hey, is there any cardist based in wherever? Yeah. Maybe someone would know. You never know. You just gotta like, there is no answer. It's just exploring. And then I feel like as well, this worked for me. I kind of got explored, to be honest with you, because when I was starting out, I was like doing, you know, my sort of really esoteric, like very arty, weird moves, like very abstract stuff. And it was getting seen by a few people. It wasn't like mainstream at this point. And there's one guy like Scott, actually. He started like taking notice of me. I noticed that. And I feel like he kind of introduced me to a lot of the UK community. Yes. And then I think actually one day I remember I posted a story on my Instagram, and it was like me in Norwich, which is where I was living when I was at university, which is like in the east of England, basically. Like, you know, like it looks like a bum, like the bit that sticks out, basically is there. Just like a random thing, like tagged it, you know, the location. This one kid just messaged me saying, oh, I live in Norwich. Can we meet up? Yeah. Like, why not? Turns out he's like one of my best friends, I would say, in cardistry. Like, that's really incredible talent. And it's just like random things like that, random occurrences, you know, it does happen. So
that's cool.
Yeah, just always have hope.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are definitely, they'll be surprised as to where cardists or collectors or whatever they're looking for in their area. You know, like I used to live in Davis, California, and I mean, I'm not a cardist, but it's, you know, when I saw a Kickstarter go up, and it was from, you know, the prototype deck from Vin.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Yeah, he actually lives in Davis, so it's kind of funny. I saw the Kickstarter campaign. It was a cardistry deck, and the location was Davis, California. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. So you never really know. Like you said, tag people, put out a shout out. There might be a cardist right down the street. You know, I mean, Tyler's run into people who's big card collectors that literally live 7 minutes from his house.
I think like I've met like 4 people who live within like 10 minutes of me.
Yeah.
Who collect cards. It's like super weird. I'm like, all right, this is such a small hobby, but all right.
It's a small world though, isn't it? You know, like it's crazy what you can run into.
No
Yeah, but
doubt.
like, I have a question actually. What's it like living in California slash LA?
I don't live in LA, but I live in the San Francisco area.
Mm,
I love California. I think California is great. I think there's a lot of opportunity in California. I think the people are great. Obviously, some areas better than others. It's definitely a progressive state,
mm,
um, and it's very, very diverse. Yeah, I mean, I love it. LA is kind of a shit show, but
yeah, I
if
kind
you
of
like
heard.
that
Yeah.
that craziness and city nut life, then you'll love
Mm,
LA. But there's definitely in California, there is a spot for everyone. If you want to be chill and away from everybody, there's places like that. If you want to be in the thick of it, you can't get much more in the thick of it than LA and
mm,
like New York. But like it's totally different than New York. It's like
yeah,
the chill version of New York, but just as busy, if that makes any fucking sense. But
I think so. Yeah.
and it's yeah, I mean, I love it. I'm from Boston, so I know the East Coast way of living as well. And just
Which is why Steve
California,
doesn't like New York.
California is just California is next level. Yeah, that's why I don't like New York.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And one other
Awesome.
question that did come in here too was actually, who is your favorite British magician? I know you mentioned Dynamo earlier, but was there anyone really more so who
Um,
even stuck out to you?
try to think. Definitely Dynamo for sure.
Yeah.
Like number one. Just from his like shows and stuff. I'm trying to think if there's like some like British magicians who would be like on shows like Fool Us. Yeah, there is. Piff the Magic Dragon.
Ah,
That guy's an absolute legend.
yeah.
I want to say Michael Vincent, but I don't know if he's British or American.
All right.
What
I want to say he's
Colin
British.
Cloud's British, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Colin McLeod. That's
No,
right. Yeah,
Colin Cloud.
he's also really good. And there's another guy who I can't remember his name, but yeah, like him, like a lot of them would be like people that I've seen on Fool Us. To be honest with you, like when it was
Yeah.
in the UK.
Michael Vincent
So
is from the UK.
he is. He is absolutely unbelievable.
Nice.
He is absolutely insane. And I'm sure there's others like Laura London as well comes to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like magicians, like I think of David Blaine when I think of magicians. I think of Dynamo. I think of there's a guy called Troy. He had a show on E4, which is like a random channel in the UK. Like he had a pretty decent magic show. He was pretty cool. Yeah, he'd
Yeah,
also be in that list.
Darren Brown's from the UK.
Darren Brown, obviously. How did I forget him?
It's funny
Wow.
because when you get asked the question, it's kind of like you have a brain fart and you're like, oh, I can't even think.
Yeah,
There's so many.
of course.
Then
Darren
people can
Brown.
pull them out and you're like, oh, duh, yeah, Darren Brown.
Darren Brown, obviously, like his shows alone are just absolutely incredible. Like
Yeah.
people love them, like
He's
regardless
next level
of if
for
you
sure.
like magic or not. Yeah, and like to say that, like his mentalism is unbelievable. Like how he can even pull off that sort of stuff doesn't make any sense. How do you even like practice doing that? It's like it's like for me, it completely baffles my mind. It's unreal.
Yeah. It's kind of like you
Yeah.
want to get like you want to become an intern for people like that just to learn how that stuff's done.
100%.
Yeah, how they think
100%.
even.
It's like I
Yeah.
don't even care to get paid. I just want to like be involved with the creation of this magical moment. I'll bring you water, not tap water, regular water, and make it happen.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny because like obviously being British and like not being in my country at the moment, like everyone's always like, oh, bottle of water, all the time. It's like, I mean, it's not. It doesn't really bother me to be honest with you, but like, yeah, it's always like bottle of water. Like everyone seems to say that, but like, I feel like a lot of British people don't even say it like that. Bottle of water. It doesn't sound any different. Like bottle of water. Water.
Bro, I wouldn't
No
know what
complaint.
you're talking about. People don't give me trash for my accent ever. That's for damn sure. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. Trust me, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Oh my god,
dude.
Well,
thank
Adam,
you so much for
it's genuinely been a pleasure, man.
Been awesome.
joining us on this
Yeah.
amazing Sunday. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been great.
Of course, dude. It was
And yeah,
Go ahead.
hopefully it's not too bad over in Malta. I know it's a little bit later, but we do appreciate you coming on and
Nah,
taking some time out of the social life. So we saved some of
It's
your
all
cards from
good.
getting more alcohol on them tonight. There you go.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yes,
man.
exactly. Thank you for everybody who tuned in and stuck around, and we really appreciate you, and we obviously appreciate you, Adam, for coming on.
And for everyone who hasn't already, make sure to go follow Adam's YouTube channel down below in his Instagram. He's going to be dropping that tutorial on Bullet tomorrow. We will remind him, don't you worry.
Yes,
so
they will.
definitely make sure to check it out. It's going to be dope. And honestly, it's going to be a short probably. So it's going to be less than a minute. You're going to pick it right up and run with it. It'll be awesome. So Adam, thank you so much. I love what you're doing with the shorts, man. And I hope you continue with it. I think it really is making a huge impact, and the positivity coming off it is amazing, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Dude,
Thank
absolutely
you.
our pleasure. Thank you everyone so much. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And Steve's going to make me forget to tell people who the guest is for next week.
Oh, that's
but
right. Good
yeah,
call.
what's up, Steve? But for everyone who's not tuned out so far, make sure to tune in. Next week, our guest is going to be Stefan Eriksson. Stefan is the designer behind the butterfly playing cards. Absolutely amazing graphic designer, absolutely amazing deck of cards. So if you're curious to find out what it was like working with Andrei Pishnichka and working on the amazing butterfly playing cards, make sure to tune in next Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Deckin Around. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday evening, and
Peace.
Jesus.